Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Perennial 2022 Grand Finals. It is time for the last match of the tournament. It's Microwave Lobster and Very Cool facing off for all the marbles for first place and for first place for the guaranteed badge at the end of the tournament. My name is Dio. I am one of your hosts for the Perennial, and I'm here with my other host, Mr. Chillier Pear. Welcome.
What's poppin'? What's going on? It's Grand Finals Day. Everyone's excited for this match. This is going to be a very, very cool match to watch here. We've had a lot of good stuff in this weekend. And the weekend before, leading up to it, very competitive tournament. We've got two teams that have been working their way through all the way here. Of course, your team on the left there, Microwave Lobster, your winner's bracket. Grand Finals team here, Team Very Cool, coming up from their win in the loser's bracket against El Dupa. Very well done to them. They're going to be looking to maybe give Microwave Lobster the first big bit of trouble they've had this tournament, and I'm interested to see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, you mentioned the first trouble they've had all tournament because Microwave Lobster really hasn't had all that much trouble with any of the teams in this tournament so far. The closest match that they had was against El Dupa in the winners finals last weekend, but that match was still 7-4, and if you look at the margins of difference by which Microwave Lobster won a lot of their picks, you can see they had some maps that were fairly close, a couple maps like Nomad 1, for example, that went very, very closely and could have gone over to El Dupa pretty easily, but then you have some other maps in this matchup like the Hidden 3, the Usomi kind of nod to Deconstruction Star sort of map that they won by over 1 million team score and found a triple full combo on. So there are definitely some skill sets where this team still should be unchallenged, even going into the grand finals. But certainly El Dupa and Very Cool, probably the only two teams in the tournament that could really hope to give Microwave Lobster the challenge that we want to see going into the grand finals.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of those big team scores that are put up on the side of Microwave Lobster and Very Cool for that matter. Both of them still consistently able to put up, 2, 3 very, very high scores on each of their teams. And in a 4v4 tournament, that's pretty big to be able to do that into late stage. You see a lot of the teams that get eliminated in maybe quarterfinals, semifinals, even finals, who are eliminated because of their kind of lack of being able to put up that third or fourth player on a lot of these maps. And that's where these two teams really, really do shine. It's being able to put up a full roster for the majority of picks in the pool, not just their picks, but even the opposing team's picks. And you see a lot of the tournament pedigree on both of these teams. There is a significant amount of strength on both sides. I think the newest player on both of these teams being Angel Kana on the side of Very Cool. Pretty much everyone else here has been around for a very long time playing in these international high-level tournaments here. And even then, Angel Kana is not super new. So you're looking at a lot of experience mixed in with a lot of people who are still at their peak of tournament play, some who have been kind of riding that train for a little while. Obviously, side of Microwave Lobster, you've got very, very well-known roster overall. You've got the Captain Bartek, joined by Badu, Fancy Lad, Intercambing, Malashevsky, MG Hatsune Miku, also known as the legendary Arnold 24x24, and Reed Cat. On the side of Very Cool, likewise, some very well-known players here. You've got Captain Fiery Rage, Sawada, Sakamoto 1, Emrek, Takedo, Angel Kana, Zootinator, Bubbleman, and of course White Cat. All players whose names you've definitely heard before, you've definitely seen before, whether it's in solo and tournament play. And that is something that I think most people will be pretty terrified to go up against on both sides here. I think both teams have players. They know exactly what the other one is capable of. They have seen what the players on the opposing side are capable of, and they know just how good they're going to have to play today in order to combat those performances from either side.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things for any of these late stage matches, I think, is something that Demarsh and I talked about a lot before the match yesterday between El Dupa and Very Cool, is kind of how well these teams are able to scale into the grand finals map pools and, who they kind of can build rosters around. in the grand finals, right? You mentioned a lot of teams get eliminated in finals and semifinals, for example, because they don't really have a player that they can rely upon to consistently get those high scores even when the maps get this difficult. So for both of these teams, you can look at almost any player on either side and say, yeah, this player does scale well into the latest stages of a tournament, and we can probably build a pretty solid roster around them. But I think there are a couple of players on either side that you can point out who really fit that bill. The obvious two for very cool being Whitecat and Emrek, who have shown it for the last 3 weeks in a row in semifinals, finals, and grand finals yesterday. That they are the rocks that this team is built around, and that they are here to win in the grand finals weekend right now. For Microwave Lobster, I think the difference in pop-off potential between their members is a lot lower than between Whitecat, Emrek, and a lot of the other players on Very Cool. I think, for example, you're looking at Malashevsky, you're looking at Reedcat, you're looking at Fancy Lad, Intercambing, Arnold, and all of those players are people who I think you could build a really solid roster around in a grand final stage. So for Microwave Lobster, I think it less comes down to building a roster around one of those big star power carry players, and more so figuring out where your team's synergies lie and where you can combine a lot of those star power players to get the absolute best possible scores here, because you want to finish this without going to bracket reset. You don't want Very Cool to get that extra bit of information on your team and where they can find those wins against you.
Yeah, Microwave Lobster, a very strong team. They've proven themselves in their performances in the past. Obviously, some very, very notable tournament players on here who, were at peak performance in the past, maybe year or two. Obviously, you look at players like I'm a Fancy Lad, who had an absolutely massive run back in 2020, 2021 even. Stepped back a little bit from the tournament scene in the previous year so far, but still has proven that he is right up there with the best of the best still. Arnold has maintained that position for a very long time now, being one of the top players. Reedcat has been making massive improvements, and let's not forget about Malashevsky, who has been making waves in the community. In this past year has certainly been regarded as, one of the top tournament players. On the side of Very Cool, you mentioned looking, maybe for a little bit more to prove themselves, not necessarily prove themselves as tournament players, but prove that they have what it takes to go up against some of the players on Microwave Lobster, who I think have been having a better recent performance, and I think Very Cool has a lot of players who have had some very good performances in the past. Obviously, Whitecat had a couple of months, maybe a year ago, where he was a very, very solid tournament player, carried Team Germany in the OSA World Cup very far in previous years, has easily been their best player. We can't forget about Bubble Man. He is a staple of the tournament community in general. He has been around for as long as everyone can remember. He has been a top performer for as long as anyone can remember, and if you've been around for a long time, you remember when he was probably the best tournament player in the world by a decent margin. Yeah. Zootinator, Corsay's closed. If you just watched that, she's insane. She had winner's bracket advantage over Utami, went to bracket reset, and she dragged him almost to tiebreaker, and it was the most ridiculous match ever, and I would certainly recommend go watching it because both players on there were absolutely terrifying. Fiery Rage has won OWC more times than I think anyone in the world.
I think he has the most OWC champion badges of any player in the world at this point,
yeah, he's kind of good as the captain. Experience.
That's one thing to note about this roster for Very Cool, and Fire Rage has mentioned this in a lot of the interviews that he's done with this one guy after matches, is that a lot of his job on this roster is not necessarily to be the carry player, because he is a very niche skill set for a tournament of this difficulty in the grand finals, right? He does not have the speed or tapping stamina to go in on a lot of maps where you might otherwise want a player with his general skill set to go in. But what he does bring to this team is the ability to calm down the mental of some of the players on this roster who might be a little bit less experienced in these highest levels and who might have really, really high expectations of themselves and need to kind of bring themselves back down to earth and recognize that they are still doing exactly what is needed of them, even if they don't feel that way about the plays themselves, particularly Emrek and Whitecat. But also, we mentioned some inexperienced players like Angel Kana, who I say the word inexperienced, but is still very clearly one of the best tournament players around to be on this roster at all. But there are a lot of players on this roster who can use that kind of level-headedness brought back down to them on the side of very cool. So it does help a lot for them, I think, to have somebody like that on the roster.
I certainly agree. I think having that experienced captain, somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, and being able to bring that experience into this match is going to be, I think, something that Very Cool needs. Regardless of the fact that they have a lot of very experienced, very seasoned veterans in the tournament community, they are going up against a powerhouse team here who, once they get on a roll, that's kind of the difference in this match here. Microwave Lobster is the type of team where they want to start winning right out of the gate, because that momentum that they have and their overall performance, if they're going from map number 1, it's going to be very, very hard to stop them. Very Cool, however, they have that morale on their side. They have that team togetherness that they're looking for. And if they're able to potentially force a bracket reset or even something close to it, I think if this manages to go to bracket reset, Microwave Lobster is going to have a very difficult time getting back into this with the momentum on the side of Very Cool. With that being said, there have been a lot of players on Microwave Lobster who have been forced to bracket reset before and have really turned it around in the second set. It's been a full 180, so there's really no telling what's going to happen in this match today. I think both of these teams have equal opportunities to get right into this. Team Very Cool going to be banning Hidden 2 right out of the gate. They're not touching reading against Microwave Lobster. I certainly wouldn't either with Badu on the team, and that's not even mentioning their other roster players.
Yeah. We saw yesterday, right, that Very Cool just does not have the reading roster to really contest El Dupa on that map. And like you said, players like Badu can easily fill the place of somebody like a Koro on that map to just top score the lobby and make it so that the burden on the members of Very Cool is extremely high on a map like that. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, as a reminder, the ban phase in the Perennial is operated a little bit differently from most other tournaments. Teams do have 2 bans each, but they only get 1 ban at the start of the match. The second ban doesn't come until after 4 maps have been played, so Very Cool heavily prioritizing keeping that low approach rate hidden out of this match. And it's going to be a double time 3 ban from Microwave Lobster as well, not wanting the speed picks in here against Very Cool. And I can definitely understand that with Matthew's recent tournament ban. They don't want to have to field substitute players on some of the highest BPM speed maps where he would be a fantastic asset for their team.
I think overall Very Cool is definitely a team that you take one look at this roster and I see speed right out of the gate. Not to mention their significant hidden prowess with players like Zudinator, Bubbleman, and Taquito. But you look at a roster that has Sawada and Emrek and White Cat and Taquito and all of these super fast players on this roster who are still at some of their best performances right now. That's a scary team for speed. And even when you throw in players like Bubbleman, you add some stamina into the mix. Angel Kana as well, been a fantastic flow aim stamina player for Very Cool over the course of this tournament and has really been, a big part of why they've won a lot of those picks here. Microwave Lobster, while they do have a roster they can field for some of those picks, definitely not their strong point here. I think they're going to be looking a lot more towards some of the aim picks today, maybe a little bit more of the gimmick skill sets here, and I think that's where their strength lies, especially with people like Fancy Lad, Badu, Malashevsky, Arnold, you keep going down. And then the mechanics players kind of mixed in as well, like Reed Cat, who are going to be very good at a lot of those hard rock mechanics, no mod mechanics, anything but hidden, basically, or super fast stamina. So a good balance in the middle here, and we'll see what happens with this first pick coming out here and see which direction they're going to go today. It's going to be the No Mod 3. Understandable. They're starting off with that gimmick.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense given what we saw from this team coming out of the winners finals and kind of comparing the scores between Microwave Lobster and Very Cool. You mentioned a lot of players who are going to be really solid on these types of gimmicky maps. Players like Badu, Fancy Lad, and Ristel, Malashevsky, all going to be absolutely fantastic players for Microwave Lobster on this sort of pick. And I think it's interesting that we see this type of shift in the pick priorities for both of these teams, because very cool throughout this tournament have typically picked into some of the really tech-focused maps, a lot of the alt maps. They have very, very good alt players on this team. Fire Rage and White Cat, kind of the two that immediately come to mind for a lot of people thinking back to, for example, the Corsace Open last year, where those two in particular just dominated every alt map that the tournament released. But also players like Zudinator, players like Emrek, like Bellman, who can just go in on anything and do really well on it. But like you mentioned, the speed roster for Very Cool is really strong in these later stages. They were able to beat El Dupa on speed yesterday, and that is a roster that includes players like Utami, who you expect to just full combo those sorts of maps. So when you have a team like this who potentially can abuse something else against a Microwave Lobster roster who now wants to lean even more away from speed and into some of their other strengths with rosters like this 4-player lineup that they're putting up right now, I think it brings a pretty interesting dimension to this grand finals, where we're going to see very different sorts of picks for both of these teams, where Microwave Lobster is going to lean even more heavily into what they have throughout the tournament, and Very Cool might start to lean away from what they've usually done throughout this tournament so far, picking into the aim maps and the tech maps, and picking more so into a lot of the speed maps and potentially some of the hard rock maps later on, given just how strong the hidden reading roster is for Microwave Lobster.
No, I completely agree, and I don't think you could have said it any better. You can see it right out of the gate with this first pick here on the No Mod 3. Microwave Lobster are not waiting at all to go into the skill sets that they know they're confident on. And I guess I'll just pick out 2 players here right out of the gate, Arnold and Badu. These are 2 players that if you have watched any tournament in the past 6 to 8 months, you do not want to touch maps like this against them. They're so good at these snappy, big flow aim style Nomad 3 here, and when you throw in a players like Fancy Lad and Malashevsky here, you've got a really good roster. Likewise with Very Cool, though, they're going to be able to field a lineup of players that is going to be very good to contest this a little bit. Obviously, if you've seen, even like OWC, White Cat has been very, very solid on these alt style picks, was definitely a big carry for Germany there. Emrek, very, very solid at all this flow aim style picks here. And Fiery Rage, of course, kind of known as being a really consistent alt player overall. I think it's one of his strongest, most prominent skill sets besides, some of his more heavy gimmick abilities. And then Taquito, if you're going to have anyone to fill in that 4th slot, that's certainly a player you want to have in here. But definitely the eyes on Microwave Lobster right now, just even based on those 2 players on your far left-hand side of your screen right now, is definitely a reason to favor this map towards them, not only being their own first pick.
Well, certainly starting off well for them, and an early drop from Emrek on this map as everybody else holds on to these full combos. This beginning section, the very intro of the map does have some pretty hard patterns, and then this part is mostly free combo. You're looking for people to hit this section and keep the combos together going into the first Ki time in this map, because this part is where things really start to ramp up, and operating a lot like usual aim maps. This is where we're going to see a lot of misses. 4-way break, 2 for each team. Malashevsky and Fancy, Fiery, and Emrek dropping for either side. Those drops basically just continuing to trade back and forth between those 4 players as the remaining 4, Arnold, Badu, White Cat, and Taquito, all continue to hold these FCs for either squad. And everybody holding strong right now. Taquito and Badu dropping at the exact same point as well, and now it is just a 1v1 between Arnold and White Cat, the 2 remaining full combos on the board for either team, and nearly identical supporting combos for everybody. Fiery Rage, the only one to trade a miss there at the end of the first Ki time, and about a 200 combo lead over to Microwave Lobster because of it, but very, very minuscule combo lead here after the first half of the map.
Well, Arnold's still alive with that combo right now. Badu with that unfortunate break, but White Cat, we mentioned both of these 2 players here are the ones that we said you have to look out for on maps like this, Whitecat being a big part of why. And he does miss on the square. Unfortunately, very difficult pattern. Arnold is going to slider break immediately after, though, so it's not going to be much of a combo game for Microwave Lobster. It's actually going to be a team combo advantage on the side of Very Cool right now, on the backs of Taquito and Emrek putting up some very large combos right now. Fiery Rage is recovering as well. There is absolutely no lead Microwave Lobster is capitalizing on right now. And as Malashevsky and Arnold continue to find breaks, it's only going to be Emrek to trade it out right now. It's going to be another double break from Very Cool. It's only a 40,000 score difference, and it's going to trade back and forth right now as long as Taquito and Whitecat maintain this double combo higher right now. But Dew is not going to be able to bring this back by himself, but he's certainly going to be able to hold it within reaching distance right now as Emrek continues to find a lot of chain misses in this section here with Fiery Rage. It's down to a 40k difference, and it's going to start to shrink with Badu and the rest of the team building up combos now. There's not a lot of map left, and they're going to have to bring this back in order to win. And there goes Taquito! Oh no. Microwave Lobster might actually run away with their own pick here.
And that's what you hope if you're rooting for Microwave Lobster right now. This is their first pick. This is the map that they feel strongest about. And these misses at the end of the map for Very Cool are going to pretty well validate those feelings about this map. Everybody trading the combos at the end, Whitecat included there. Malashevsky and Badu going to drop alongside Arnold for Microwave Lobster by the end of the map, but it's about 100,000 score lead. And Fancy Lad is going to make sure that lead stays intact going into the ending here. Does find one miss right at the end there on the big spacing diamond stream, but Fiery Rage the only combo to speak of on the side of Very Cool, and not enough, I don't think, to claw back this lead with just a sliver of map left. And those extra misses from Taquito and Emrek are not going to let the comeback happen for Very Cool, I don't think. It's going to be close going into the ending here. The lead is shrinking a little bit as we run into the ending. Everybody trading the misses, but that little build-up of score at the end for Microwave Lobster, where everyone was able to hold while the misses came through for Very Cool, is what saves their overall scores on that map. Very similar score lines to what we saw yesterday for both of these teams, but both teams well outperforming either of the team scores for yesterday. We saw about 1.3 million for both El Dupa and Very Cool yesterday, 300k above that for both of these squads on this pick, so a much closer point than Microwave Lobster probably expected on this first pick.
Yeah, definitely a contested pick, and I think we went over that before the pick started here. You've got a lot of very good players on side of Very Cool who are good at this kind of gimmicky flow aim style Nomad 3 here, and I think this match is going to be like that as a whole. Each team has their own picks that they should be very confident in, but there is nothing in here that I don't think either team could contest in at least some fashion. Luckily for Microwave Lobster, Badu able to put up that very good ending combo there along with his teammates backing him up. Just barely a higher team score on those top two players. They're able to pull that map out. Very Cool. I feel like they should start into something like Double Helix here. They're going to go Nomad 5, though. It is still going to be speed regardless, and it's definitely a smart direction for them to take at the beginning of this match. I think opening up with something that is maybe slightly contested, but still a little bit favored towards them is going to be big to get a point on the board early here. You've got players like Sawada and Emrek, Whitecat, who should all be very, very good at maps of this style here. I'd be interested to see who their fourth would be on this. I imagine someone like Taquito on a Nomad 5 would be their best fourth.
Would definitely look to Taquito to come in on this, but yesterday the roster for them was Whitecat, Bubbleman, Emrek, and Sawada. Whitecat was the top score for them, about 650k on this. And Bubbleman with that second top play for them, right around 500k, 1200 combo for him. So despite lower accuracy, really, really solid score for both of those players. In fact, both of them outscoring Utami on the side of El Dupa. So very, very good speed scores for this roster, as we talked about. And I think that's going to be a really big asset for them going into the rest of this match, right? We have players like Malashevsky, who you're going to look to on the side of Microwave Lobster to really be the rock on a lot of these speed maps. But I think that we're looking at a Microwave Lobster roster that really doesn't want to play a lot of these speed maps. We saw them ban out that DT3. I think players like Reedcat and Intercambing will be fairly good on a map like this that is, I say, only at that 250 BPM mark, right? They avoid the 270 BPM double time 3. and still have to go in on something that is 250 BPM. That is going to be really speed straining. But when you think about intercamping and ReedCat, you don't typically think high BPM speed like this. ReedCat absolutely has the metal and the skill set to do maps like, for example, Yomiuri, or 220 BPM death streams. But his higher BPM stuff is something that he's had to actively work to improve for quite a long time. It's not his bread and butter, whereas that is the case for players like Arnold. That is the case for Sawada, for Bubbleman, for, well, all 4 players on the side of Very Cool right now, actually. So you favor their roster just because they have that little bit higher comfort level on all 4 of those players, as opposed to intercamping and ReedCat specifically, kind of the players to watch out for as being maybe a little bit uncomfortable with this BPM. They're still very good at it, obviously. That's why they're in for this map. But it's not what they prefer to play, and it's not their specialty, whereas that is the case for a lot of other people in right now.
Well, that's that roster of 4 that we talk about that gets teams to these late stages in the grand finals, and Very Cool is going to get a chance to showcase it right now here. You mentioned intercamping and ReedCat maybe not being the strongest 2 speed players on there, but I think ReedCat definitely struggles a lot more on some of the stamina-styled Nomad 5s, and I think being a Realizy map, this is definitely a little bit more aim-heavy and some of the bursts, which means this is going to be very comfortable for them here. It's going to be some early breaks out of Emrek and Malashevsky here alongside Sawada, and ReedCat also going to break and intercamping, so it's already going to be a big advantage for Very Cool here. Bubbleman and Whitecat holding it down. It's 2 FCs to 1 right now. Just Arnold to try and make it work for Microwave Lobster at the beginning here. But this map not quite as long as the last one, just over 3 minutes here, and as long as Sawada is the only one that continues breaking. Very Cool running out of the gate with this one, looking very strong. We're already almost 100,000 points in favor of them.
Well, these are the 2 players you looked to yesterday to put up the solid scores for Very Cool, and they're the 2 players holding the full combos right now. But if there's one player that you really want to invest in on the speed for Microwave Lobster, it is Arnold. If he can hold on to this full combo, there is still always a chance at a comeback for Microwave Lobster. He's going to have to at this point, with Malashevsky being the only other high combo on his side. Bubbleman does drop that FC for Very Cool, however, so now it is Emrek and Whitecat with the only 2 combos intact for Very Cool, and actually about 100 combo lead right now. Gone! Evaporated with that miss from Arnold, as the only full combo for Microwave Lobster drops, leaving Whitecat the sole holder of an FC in this lobby, and with Very Cool having a massive combo lead at this point. Emrek matching the combo out of Malashevsky with much better AC, 99% for Emrek, 99.5 for Whitecat on this full combo right now, I might add, who is just completely demolishing this pick in favor of Very Cool and bringing a score lead that puts them very comfortably in the lead at this point, despite these repeated misses from Bubbleman and Sawada. All the combos actually just evaporate for Very Cool, and that is massive. Now Malashevsky with 1,500 combo has the chance to bring this back, but it's a big score lead, 300k for Very Cool, and he will have to hold all the way through the ending.
He cannot miss at all here at the ending. I don't actually know if there's going to be enough time either. It's going to be so close into the ending here. He's going to bring back score really quickly with Bubbleman finding breaks, but the note density just might not be there for him. It's still 200,000 in favor of Very Cool, and the map is coming to a close. There's not enough breaks coming out of Very Cool. It's not going to be enough time, and Malashevsky's doing whatever he can. He looks so confident at the ending right now. He's going to make it look like he could have done it with the full combo here, but the map is going to come to a close just before he's able to make the full difference, and it's only 150,000 score lead for Very Cool into the ending on the back of some massive performances from Whitecat and Emrek. But Malashevsky S rank right alongside them, 852,000 score, 97% AC on the S rank, trying to do whatever he could for his team there. Just not quite enough, but what an outstanding play.
I might add S ranks for 3 players in this lobby, Whitecat, Emrek, and Malashevsky, of course, on that 850k, almost 2,000 combo play for Malashevsky. But at the end of the day, it's the team consistency on this speed pick that gives the point over to Very Cool. You look at the accuracy for all of these players, 99% on Whitecat still, 98.8 for Emrek, 98.5 for Sawada, even bottom scoring the lobby for his team, but 1 miss with that kind of accuracy, still bringing a lot more score than he otherwise would have, and 97.6 for Bubbleman every single player on their team with higher accuracy, even than Malashevsky on the side of Microwave Lobster. So incredible combo for Malashevsky to try to bring that score back over, but not enough in the face of the sheer difference in team comfort on that pick for Very Cool. And that is why we saw that double time 3 ban. That is why we are likely to see some other picks like that double time 2, like that No Mod 2 come out for Very Cool, because they are clearly in their element on those types of maps. These players for Very Cool have what it takes to bring massive score leads into the fray on some of these speed and stamina focused picks.
Well, you got to feel a little bit bad for Microwave Lobster there. Malashevsky with just a slider break at the beginning was basically almost the difference in score between the two teams there. It would have been a very big ask to have an FC on that map in order to win it, but it does give Microwave Lobster just a little sense of confidence that they might be able to take some of these speed maps, or at least make them a little bit closer than what they imagined here. They're going to go in for DT4. They're going to continue on with some of these more finger control styled maps, a little bit more awkward, which is definitely the area that I think is going to be their strong point today. We're still only 2 picks into the match right now. It's still 1-1, still going to be very close here, but right now, both teams are going to stick to what they know best. They're going to put in their strong rosters. They're going to get these opening picks out here, and then once the match starts to progress a little bit more, then we'll maybe start to see some of those closer maps, maybe certain teams taking a little bit of a gamble on some picks at the later points in here, just to open up a little bit more of the map pool, areas that they might not quite have as much knowledge in. But right now, definitely, I think from both of these teams, we can expect at least 3 good points at the beginning here. You know, whether or not a break point is mixed into that is yet to be seen. But I think based on these teams' knowledge of the pool, especially Very Cool having played this twice now, they are going to have a very confident first few picks here on both sides. Likewise, Microwave Lobster knows exactly what Very Cool is good and bad at based on the maps that they played and the maps that they banned. So not only does Very Cool have the extra practice, but Microwave Lobster has a lot of that extra information that they've been maybe looking for against this team here. And that is kind of one of the invaluable parts about being that winner's bracket finalist. You do get that extra information here, which can make a difference in a match like this where these two teams are pretty closely matched up.
Yeah, it is. It does give a lot of information over to Microwave Lobster, particularly that triple easy play on Premod 2 that Fiery mentioned in the post-match interview yesterday. But it's, I think, still pretty predictable what these teams wanted to do, right? We talked about it pretty extensively already, that Microwave Lobster, they're going to pick into these gimmicky sorts of maps, and Very Cool, they're going to pick into a lot of the, firstly, more speed and stream mechanics-focused picks, and then probably into some of those hard rock mechanics picks. I think picking into stuff like the Hard Rock 3 from yesterday, for example, one of their power picks against El Dupa, likely to be pretty good for them. And that is one of the reasons why I think this Double Time 4 pick early on from Microwave Lobster, a little bit interesting. You've got several players on the side of Very Cool who are going to be really, really comfortable with this higher approach rate. White Cat and Taquito in particular, I think, on this team are going to have 0 issues with this high approach rate. But Fiery Rage also, somebody with plays like State of Mind Double Time and the Joji map Double Time. I forget the name of the song at this point, but very, very good high approach rate DT gimmick plays all over the board for this roster. So something that they definitely have a good chance of taking a break point off of. But you look at the players on the side of Microwave Lobster, and you can say the same for just about all of them. Fancy Lad, Intercamping, Bartek, and Malashevsky, all off to a little bit of a rocky start, actually, with breaks for 3 out of 4 of those members. Malashevsky now the only player with the full combo intact for their side. Taquito the only one to break for Very Cool. But players like Fancy Lad, Intercamping both have very, very good gimmick DT scores as well. Malashevsky has been known to just put up the only full combo in a lobby on some of these late stage DT4s. And he might have a chance at it here with some breaks from White Cat and Bubbleman coming out. Taquito to match those breaks as well. So now combo lead squarely in the favor of Microwave Lobster, matching full combos for Malashevsky and Fiery Rage. And with Bartek and Intercamping holding a little bit of combo lead, now gone, actually, once again. It's just Bartek with that supporting combo, but Fiery drops the last FC for very cool, and Malashevsky again has the chance to put up the soulful combo on a Grand Finals double time 4 in tournament in 2022.
Malashevsky, the big player here right now. Bartek's going to find a break as well, so the supporting combo, at least the big one, has been lost on the side of Microwave Lobster right now. It is a 2,000 score difference, not even a 1.5 thousand score difference between these two teams at this pause right here, almost to that halfway point right now. A decently long map here, so there's plenty left to go, but White Cat and Bubbleman right now, both 400 plus combos, going to be very big for very cool right now. They're going to need to hold these in order to keep this somewhat close. Malashevsky going to be pulling out all the stops for his team right now. Intercamping has recovered from his early blunder misses at the start. Fancy Lad as well, putting up 300 plus combo now. Bartek is going to slowly be approaching that right now. At the very least, Taquito and Fiery Rage are matched in combo, but Malashevsky, he has to hold right now. He is the only thing keeping Microwave Lobster in the lead right now. White Cat and Bubbleman have more than enough combo to bring this back, immediately given a break from Malashevsky right now. Intercamping is going to find a miss. It's the biggest combo gone, but not before Bartek and Fancy Lad are able to put up some substantial backing score as well right now. It's all on Malashevsky right now. The pressure is 1,000% there right now. Bubbleman and Taquito are both going to find breaks. White Cat, the only one with a massive combo, backed up by Fiery Rage as Malashevsky finds a miss. Bartek and Fancy Lad need to hold now more than ever to keep this pick on the side of Microwave Lobster. It's going to be so close. There goes Bartek. White Cat and Fiery Rage are going to be able to bring it back towards the end here. It's all on White Cat with the 1,200 combo. Fancy Lad trying to hold it down, but this is looking like a break point for Very Cool on the back from White Cat and Fiery Rage right now.
It's not over yet. There's still a little bit of map left, and any breaks from either White Cat or Fiery could let Fancy Lad take advantage, but he is going to find the miss instead, and that is going to seal it up for Very Cool, and that was the thing that I was scared of about this pick for Microwave Lobster early on. Very Cool with some of the best high approach rate reading and aim control players in the game. White Cat and Fiery Rage pulling out the top scores in the lobby at the end of the map for Very Cool to take the break point. Only Malashevsky close to them. 630k for Fire Rage, 800k nearly for White Cat on a one miss on that sort of map. Absolutely massive plays for Very Cool to bring out a break point on Microwave Lobster's second pick to boot.
Ooh, break point early on in the match here. Malashevsky once again trying to do whatever he could. The second highest score in the lobby. Fancy Lad as well, 581k. Unfortunately, Intercamping having a significant amount of trouble on that pick compared to the rest of his teammates there. The lowest score even against Taquito, who was having some trouble at the beginning too. Not what you want to see on some of these early picks here. Let's hope for their sake he's going to be able to make a recovery on that. Very Cool, gonna go immediately back into the double time pool here. Double time 2, double Helix, our stamina pick in the DT2 here. This is another range where they are going to be very comfortable. Obviously, we'll be seeing Angel Kana come in for this pick, their resident stamina player here. Didn't quite get a chance to see on the double time 3, or the No Mod 5 rather even, because of the aim requirement most likely, and the fact that they had a good lineup on that from the other day. But a good solid start here. Obviously White Cat going to be remaining as a sit-in for all of these speed picks here, very clearly playing well today.
Probably
and it's just
all
going to be
these
seeing
picks,
those last two. Yeah, White Cat's just kind of good at most maps.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would want to bench White Cat if I were Fire Rage right now. It doesn't seem like the best advised play, so I'm going to keep picking maps that White Cat is good at, and I'm going to let him play as many maps as he possibly can, because in these late stages, particularly yesterday, he was having the match of a lifetime, just popping off on just about everything, and absolutely seems like the player that you want to lean into if you are Very Cool right now, to just give yourself the best chance possible of taking as many break points and of winning your own picks, especially on some of these speed picks where White Cat has been performing better even than players like Sawada, even than players like Emrek, who as of recent have been very, very strong speed players both in tournament and on solo leaderboards. But White Cat, #1 player for the longest period of time, absolutely has the mechanics to back it up when he wants to get serious. And serious he is right now, it seems, going into double time too. We got Mrek, Whitecat, Taquito, and Angel Kana going in for double Helix. You might pause at seeing Taquito in over Sawada for a map like this. But this is a very finger control intensive sort of double time too. It was originally drafted to be double time 4 for the OWC Grand Finals, but was deemed too difficult for OWC Grand Finals, so we used it here instead as double time 2 because it is so bursty and stamina intensive that it actually works very well as a DT2 pick instead. That does give players like Malashevsky and Reedcat, as you mentioned, with kind of a better skill set geared towards more bursty oriented speed picks, a good chance of putting up solid scores on this. But we've already seen the difference in comfort level and the difference in accuracy on that early No Mod 5 pick for both of these teams. So you really do expect this pick to be solid for very cool coming out into this DT2 for the first time this weekend, and the first time this map sees play in a badge tournament, I believe.
Well, we'll see what happens right now at the beginning of the map. Who's comfortable right from the start? It's going to be Arnold to find an early break alongside Angel Kana here. Something to note for Microwave Lobster that's definitely going to be a bit of a switch from the usual theme here is Reedcat in for a map like this. He's very confident on stamina. So this is going to be something that he could very well be a good player on. And right now he needs to be as the only FC left on Microwave Lobster. Already it's going to be 3 FCs to 1 already. Bartek and Malashevsky both finding breaks at that section there. Arnold's going to be trying to recover a bit of a combo right now. Angel Kana, the only one to find a break, is already well above, going to hit that 400 combo point. And there goes Bartek once again, and very cool. Right out of the gates, going to start off strong here. Whitecat is going to find a break right now, but he's got a little bit of wiggle room at the beginning of this pick with Taquito and Mrek still holding the 2 FCs. They're going up against Reedcat right now by himself. It's Malashevsky and Arnold to hold on these combos right now. Whitecat having a little bit of trouble at some of these sections right now, but it doesn't matter. His team has his back.
Yeah, still 2 full combos for Taquito and Mrek right now on this pick for very cool. Bartek going to find another drop for Microwave Lobster to match the drop coming out of Whitecat, and that does leave 3 pretty big combos actually on both of these teams. Angel Kana and Arnold with matching combos right now. MG Hatsune Miku, also known as Arnold. And a full combo to match for both Taquito and Reedcat on this. Drops for both Mrek and Arnold, however. And Taquito actually, massive drop for very cool as both of their FCs fall, leaving only Angel Kana with big combo up against both Reedcat and Malashevsky here. Whitecat does have a good combo on the recovery, and that drop from Reedcat is a saving grace for very cool as they were going to start to lose control of this map with the massive combos held by multiple members of Microwave Lobster. Drop for Angel Kana as well, though, does put a little bit more pressure on Whitecat to hold this biggest combo. Malashevsky has been a big performer for Microwave Lobster, has been a big performer for many teams in lots of team tournaments, and both of those top combos are going to see they need to hold for each of their respective teams during that leaderboard showing break. Whitecat going to be able to hold longer than Malashevsky, however, and that gives a big combo lead over to very cool.
Well, that's the combo lead that they were looking for on their own pick here, maintaining that prowess over the speed skill set here. Whitecat does not care about the trouble he had at the beginning of the map. He is perfectly ready and comfortable for the ending sections here. And in a very long pick like this, in terms of stamina requirement, that's something that you need, is to be able to maintain it through the entire map. Microwave Lobster looks decent at the beginning, but not quite able to maintain into the ending quite as well. Going to be giving very cool a decent advantage here over Team Combo into the ending. And Bartek finding a miss here. Whitecat is going to trade it, but the damage has been done. 200,000 in the lead. Not nearly enough time to bring it back with the note density at the ending, unless we see some serious fallback from Very Cool right now, but I doubt it with Mrek holding 1,000+ combo.
Not going to happen, as Mrek becomes the only player to crest that 600,000 score mark by the end of the map, up nearly 100k on the next best scores. Malashevsky and Arnold doing a lot of work there for Microwave Lobster to try to bring their scores up to the mark set by Very Cool, but not to be. And contrary to how yesterday's match went, where we saw breakpoint after breakpoint get traded between El Dupa and Very Cool, this time around, Very Cool able to consolidate their first breakpoint immediately and put themselves up 3-1. A fantastic start for the team coming from loser's bracket, who needs to force that bracket reset, who needs to win twice here in order to take first place. They are off to just about the best start they could have asked for, only dropping a point on Microwave Lobster's first pick so far, and looking extremely good going into our second round of bans.
Well, right now, we've got a Very Cool team that is looking really solid, and Microwave Lobster, who is then having a little bit more trouble finding a direction for their picks that suits them. Obviously, being down one break point is not the end of the world, but with it having been consolidated, they're going to have to put the work in now to really get back into this. I think the big part is going to be what happens to Very Cool after they run out of speed picks here. They've done very well for themselves to take these initial picks and, you know, going through and even getting stuff like double time 4. They're really showing that they just have complete dominion over anything that has to do with speeding up a map. So if I'm Microwave Lobster right now, I'm going to get rid of anything that's even remotely fast in this pool and only leave up the most gimmicky, non-mechanic styled maps possible and hope that I'm able to get a couple of extra points on the board because Very Cool runs out of picks before I do. It's a gamble, but it's the one that I think they're going to have to take right now, because overall, Very Cool's mechanics right now has left nothing held back. Microwave Lobster has had Malashevsky with some very good performances on maps right now, but he has been a little bit left by his teammates kind of to lead the pack here, and you can't really do that going into a grand finals match like this, especially against a team like Very Cool, who we kind of mentioned would contest this Microwave Lobster team very well if they weren't playing to their full potential. And right now, I don't know if we're seeing the full potential of Microwave Lobster. I think now that the speed pool is a little bit more diminished and depleted, we're going to be able to see a little bit more of what they're strong at, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we saw a lot of, once the speed pool kind of got away from both teams yesterday, we saw a lot more tech picks get picked up. We saw, for example, Inner Circle and Nomad 4 get picked and get won by a pretty wide margin by Very Cool yesterday. We saw them win Nomad 2 by 30,000 points as well afterwards. We saw the tech map in Hidden 1 get picked, and we saw Very Cool win the match off of that Nomad 6 by, again, less than 100,000 points. Some very, very close maps all throughout the ending of yesterday's match. This one from yesterday is a pick that El Dupa was able to win against Very Cool, and that Microwave Lobster is going to look to win themselves against this roster. I'm a little surprised that we don't see, for example, a hidden map get picked by Microwave Lobster, as they do have some fantastic reading players, but one thing that this roster does have in spades is hard rock aim players and hard rock precision players to boot. Reedcat and Fancy Lad are absolutely fantastic hard rock precision aim players. Reedcat, before he started grinding out that speed stamina, before he became the stream demon that people know him as right now, and the all-rounded monster that he is in tournament play. When he was still a specialist, he was a hard rock precision aim specialist. So this type of map is absolutely right up his alley. It is what he specialized in for the longest time, and the same goes for players like Fancy Lad and Intercamping, who maybe that's not, their initial specialty, but it's something they are very, very strong in on this Microwave Lobster roster. Joined, of course, by Malashevsky, who, much like White Cat, is just perma-lobbied for this match. The carry players for both of these squads so far, who just want to be kept in for every single pick.
Yeah, looking good on the performance today, and that's definitely something that you want to see. It's just been the difference in the overall team performance between the two so far. I think Very Cool has done a much better job of finding maps that suit them as a full roster rather than that carry player. Microwave Lobster has definitely had a couple of, maybe slight missteps on some of their picks. They weren't too far away on that one break point that they let up. So again, we mentioned it's not the end of the world. There is only one, and it was by a small margin, but they are going to have to make a turnaround sooner rather than later, because even though Very Cool is running out of picks, they do have such a strong roster on a couple other areas that you don't want to let them, take too many of those extra points in here right now. So Hard Rock Game is definitely going to be a good area for them to go for. Hidden, we mentioned that a little bit might be somewhere they look towards, but I wouldn't necessarily just go picking Hidden into Zoodinator Taquito. If you've seen how they've been playing lately, and especially, Zoodinator on stuff like Hidden 1, I would just not touch that map at all. And if White Cat's able to put up some backing performances, which I assume he will, given how performances have been today, it's going to be a dangerous area for them to tread into, but they're going to need to do it sooner rather than later. You can't be scared to pick into any mod category this late into a match, so especially when you're down. So they're going to need to start getting some more points on the board before they're going to have the confidence to do that. And I think that's going to have to start on this precision pick right here. It's already White Cat to find a break for Very Cool at the start of the map. Relatively similar length for most of the map so far, 3.5 minutes on this one. There's Fiery Rage as well, and Bubble Man. Very Cool finding a very early misses here. Something that we've been seeing on Microwave Lobster for the past few speed picks is a lot of early breaks from them, which gives that combo lead, which is hard to, kind of recover into the ending of maps here. So it's already looking much better for Microwave Lobster. Reed Cat's going to be the only one to trade out a break with Fiery Rage there.
Only one break so far for Microwave Lobster does look very, very good for them as Fiery continues to find miss after miss. Fancy going to miss during the slow section well. Not what you want to see for one of the remaining full combos on the side of Microwave Lobster. Of course, matching full combos for Intercamping and Zoodinator, about the same accuracy there as well. 99.5 for Malashevsky on the only other full combo. But White Cat and Bubble Man on pretty good recovered combos. There go Bubble Man and Intercamping. That's a trade that favors Very Cool. Fire Rage going to find a miss as well, but the only full combo left up now for each team on Malashevsky and Zoodinator, who came in for the first time for this map, does find the miss aim on the spaced burst, and that leaves Ristal as the only FC left in the lobby. White Cat with pretty good combo for Very Cool. Can start to take some score back if a miss comes through for Malashevsky, but that's a big if to rely on for Very Cool, as Malashevsky has been that rock for Microwave Lobster all throughout this match.
And he's got to hold for a little bit longer to secure this right now. White Cat is right on his tail. Fiery Rage is going to find another miss, especially after Zoodinator's chain miss on that stream prior, so it's going to be a little bit of score lost on the side of Very Cool as well as the combos being built back up. Intercamping is going to find a break right now, but Reed Cat is well above that 500 combo, pushing 600 now, as White Cat finds a break, and I think that is going to secure it. I know the map is got some time left into it right now, but with Malashevsky still holding a ridiculous FC, he will finally find a break, but again, Reed Cat had the supporting combo. He's well above 700 now. He's 200 combo above Bubble Man, which is the next best on Very Cool. And there's not a single combo above 150 on the other three players. Fancy Lad is basically matching every remaining player, or matching Bubble Man if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, this is already over for Microwave Lobster. Very, very solid pick from them. About 400,000 score up and climbing. Even with the misses from Reed Cat there. Everybody resets for Very Cool except for Zoodinator. And so this map well over for Very Cool. Microwave Lobster to put themselves up 2-3 after this one. It does beg to question a little bit of why we saw that Hard Rock 1 ban come out of Microwave Lobster. Hard Rock 1, a very similar sort of pick to this type of map. I mean, this is a much more awkward pick. It's got a lot more of a space stream focus in this map, but this is a pick that is still very similar in terms of the type of map that you're looking at. Hard Rock aim consistency is really the name of the game here, and you look at these scores for Fancy Lad, for Reed Cat, for Malashevsky, hell, even for Intercamping, still above that 500k mark, right? And you think, man, they really could still put up some fantastic scores on that Hard Rock 1, so I'd be interested to see exactly why that ban comes through, but clearly Microwave Lobster very comfortable picking into some of these Hard Rock picks, and like you said, can't be scared to pick into any of these different mod categories. Very Cool still with some solid scores of their own, namely from White Cat, that 630k the top score for them on this map. 3 misses from him, but just not enough to bring the team score up to where it needed to be. And very cool 0-2 on that Hard Rock 2 pick so far this weekend against both other teams in the grand finals. And now we see a no mod 1 pick for them after that Hard Rock 1 ban from Microwave Lobster. Again, really interesting picks to come through here, because on the one hand, yes, you just lost an aim map in Hard Rock 2, but on the other hand, they banned Hard Rock 1 against you, so clearly there is something that they are concerned about, that Microwave Lobster is concerned about regarding that aim consistency, because obviously it's not the Hard Rock mod. But
they baited this pick out, guaranteed. No, that might be too big brain right now, but potentially, I don't know. I don't know what they were looking for in that Hard Rock 1 ban. I definitely is more mechanics favored than the Hard Rock 2. You mentioned Hard Rock 2 being much more awkward in terms of the aim style, and, you know, the 6.5 as well throws that into it. So, you know, and very much so, I would understand a Hard Rock 1 ban, especially against, you know, a team with
Zooty
very cool
aim
players. Zooty, yeah, like that roster is terrifying on aim in general. So even if you've got good aim players, the consistency on the very cool aim players is just not something you want to like try your luck against, especially when you're down a break point. So no mod 1, this is going to be an interesting point. If very cool does have the mechanics advantage to the extent that we think that they do, this will go very well for them. However, if they waver at any point within this map right now, they're going to give over some critical information to Microwave Lobster, along with the break point that they've been looking for to get right back into this match even here. So very cool. You know, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like your average no mod 1 pick. They're up a point. They're pretty safe. But this pick, this could change a lot right now on the basis of one aim pick. 3 minutes and 36 seconds of 211 BPM, pretty standard on the BPM and how fast it is, but the big aim on this is something we're really looking for, and my eyes are on Malashevsky right now for Microwave Lobster. Very cool. My eyes have been on White Cat so far with his performances on every map across the board, but I'm interested to see if Zootinator is going to be able to put up that top score for Very Cool this time. She has certainly proven herself to be one of the best aim players in this lobby right now, as well as players like Intercamping, who have been known for their aim. We'll see. As we get into the beginning of No Mod 1 here, it's going to be an early break from Emrek. None of these misses at the beginning are going to matter too much, but it is going to take a couple of seconds for certain players to get into this a little bit more comfortably. It's going to be Bubbleman to break alongside Emrek. Just in the intro, though, right now it does leave a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth if you're Very Cool to see breaks this early in the map, but it doesn't matter too much in the long grand scheme of things, so we'll see if they're able to make those recoveries. Bubbleman is not going to have too good of a time regardless, but Emrek seems to be recovering much better than he is. We'll see what happens. Yeah, there goes Bubbleman again, not having a good time.
Yeah, definitely not looking his best in this match so far for Bubbleman. Fancy Lad and Emrek going to trade some misses here, but as we saw all of those early misses come out from Bubbleman, it's going to be still combo advantage and score advantage for Microwave Lobster. This first KI time, though, is where we're going to see some of those big misses come through. Very likely to see a couple for other players, but no, it's only going to be Fancy to trade another miss back for Microwave Lobster. It does bring a little bit of that combo advantage back into the favor of Very Cool, but still overall better combo for Microwave Lobster on the triple FC at the moment. Malashevsky, Intercamping, and Reed Cat still holding those. Zooty and White Cat, the FCs for Very Cool. Getting into the second KI time now. Some of these jump spikes can be very, very difficult to be consistent on. We'll see who has that consistency. Bubbleman going to find a miss on that space stream and an over-aim on the jump right afterwards. Another set of traded combos in the favor of Microwave Lobster, and this pick might actually be looking baited out from Microwave Lobster. They are still holding this three-way full combo halfway through the map now, and that Hard Rock 1 ban is looking more and more like they just wanted the pick into some of this aim consistency as 3 of their members continue this full combo train. Fancy Lad on a solid recovered combo as well. The stream section catching no one off here as everybody continues to hold the full combos. And until we see one of these FCs drop from Microwave Lobster, it's just going to continue the score lead building in their favor. Nobody missing during that big bridge section as well. And this is Not quite runaway for Microwave Lobster, but it's over 200,000 score in their favor. Massive score lead already for them.
This is absolutely huge right now. Emmerich doing a great job of recovering the combo alongside Bubbleman right now, but they're still down enough that Fancy Lad's recovered combo is matching whatever Emmerich is being able to replace right now. He is going to find a break, and it is going to give a little bit of an opportunity to Very Cool here, but these 3 FCs are going to be more than enough to keep this in the favor of Microwave Lobster right now. They are going to start to need a little bit of a break from Very Cool towards the ending of this map if these combos on Emmerich and Bubbleman hold. Fancy Lad is going to have to combo some of this, but the time is going to run out. I don't believe we're going to see 3 FCs on this from one team, let alone 5 in total.
5 full combos? Maybe?
What?
On this map?
Hold on. Simple, into the ending. Very simple. It's very easy. It's just some jumps. You're okay. Everything's fine. Just a couple more triples.
No!
Oh, it's still 4. It's still 4. Hold on. We got it. It's okay. Everything's fine.
Oh no, recap! This is the last note!
No, the last note!
He pulls an Uta. He pulls an Uta in match. Oh my god. Identical accuracy from White Cat and Malashevsky on this pick. 6 100s for both of them. 2 full combos for Very Cool. 2 last-second chokes for Microwave Lobster alongside the full combo for Malashevsky is, however, more than enough to win them the point. Pretty much identical scores, by the way, between Fancy Lad and Bubbleman. Really the main difference coming between those last-second chokes and the set of early misses for Emmerich, just not finding the consistency enough early on to compete with what almost ended up being a 3-way full combo on that map for Microwave Lobster. Might add 7.8 star aim consistency map, 3 people full comboing it, and 2 people finding chokes within the last 10 seconds of the map. Very, very solid map for Microwave Lobster. And I feel like that was the biggest mind games I have ever seen in tournament in like a grand finals, right? We're going to ban Hard Rock 1 and we're going to pick Hard Rock 2 and make you think that it's about the precision and that it's about the awkward aim. And then they pick Nomad 1 afterwards. I feel like that was, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it a little bit much, but that was a very interesting set of picks there and bans
honestly,
from
map
Microwave
too
Lobster.
easy. Map's too easy, honestly. 7.9 star Nomad 1's too easy.
It must be.
It must be too easy. Honestly, we're gonna go 8.5 stars next year. I think that'll be a good way to not get 4.5 FCs.
Look, we did that in Yuki Aim and Yaz's Summer Cup last year. I guess that's just what we need to keep doing. I don't know, man.
We just well, it's DT1 time. Microwave Lobster is gonna go right back into the aim. They're gonna throw a little bit of higher approach rating into it now. It's going to be the double time 1 AR9. A fairly long pick on this one, too. 5 minutes, 45 seconds before DT, which puts it at almost 4 minutes on the DT for this pick here. If I'm Microwave Lobster right now, I'm going to be super confident going into this. However, Very Cool, they've got White Cat on their roster. They've also got Emmerich, and if you know those two when it comes to 10.3 aim DT, then oh my god. This is going to be very interesting from them. I'm more interested in who the 2 other players are going to be on the side of Very Cool. Sawada doesn't normally strike me as that big 10.3 aim player, more stamina speed DT, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Sawada in for a pick like this. But again, those last 2 players on the side of Very Cool, very interested to see who that's going to be. It's going to be Malashevsky, Fancy Lad, Badu on the side of Microwave Lobster. Not much of a surprise there. Maybe Intercambing as that 4th for Microwave Lobster. Generally a very good 10.3 aim player. Potentially Arnold as well. I feel like those 2 would be the best choices. It looks like it's going to be Intercambing.
I can see Intercambing being really solid for this map for Microwave Lobster, but going in for this is also interesting. You don't usually expect him to go in for DT aim in particular, but this is the type of map where Badu, I think, is going to excel. Some of the diff spikes in this map are just these absurdly awkward back and forth horizontal linear jumps with 3 linear jumps in a row fully cross screen, which is absurdly difficult. You have big anti-aim patterns in the same vein, doing cross screen back and forth anti-aim jumps at 260 BPM, which is something that very few players can be consistent on. But with Badu's skill set, I think he has the raw aim consistency and especially the awkward aim consistency to be very, very strong on a map like this. Early break for Sawada on the side of Very Cool, who was one of those other players to come in, and we see massive breaks across the board. 6 people dropping, only Malashevsky and Whitecat to hold on to full combos. 200 combo into this map, the exact opposite of that no mod 1 that we just saw, as 6 out of 8 people already finding breaks.
Well, a very interesting start to this map here. You don't want to see that many breaks coming out at the beginning here, but likewise, we mentioned earlier, Whitecat very good at maps of this skill set here. Someone you've got to be very careful about, still holding that double S. Very confident. He just exerts confidence on maps of this style here. Breaks on everyone else. Obviously, Malashevsky continuing to be that staple. As we say that, he finds a miss on the pattern there. It's going to be going over to Very Cool now with no FC remaining, and Badu is going to find a break as well. On the side of Microwave Lobster, going to be even more combo in favor of Very Cool, so Malashevsky's break doesn't really matter too much because you could not solo bring this back right now. There goes Fancy Lad as well. And intercamming, Microwave Lobster has just fallen apart on their own pick as Whitecat continues to just be good at what he's good at.
How did all 4 players on Very Cool hit that massive back and forth linear? You all saw that, right? Every single player on Very Cool was able to hit that massive back and forth 3-jump linear pattern. And Whitecat still holds the SS, I might add, on this map terrifying right now. This is just terrifying. It's really scary. Sawada is on absolutely nothing after the take. But
not
it really doesn't matter.
That.
It really doesn't matter. The entire rest of the team for Very Cool all hold massive combos right now. Badu, the only combo to even think about talking about right now, with 300 combo to his name, but paltry in comparison to the full combo from Whitecat and the reverse chokes from Emrek and Zudi. Whitecat will finally drop the SS and drop the FC, but at this point I don't think it matters. 700k and climbing the score lead for Very Cool. And yeah, we talked about, Whitecat, Emrek, very good DT aim players, very good high approach rate players, and maybe people that you don't want to pick double time 1 into this Very Cool roster. Very scary on this sort of pick, as now Zudi and Emrek will hold the full combos, hold their reverse chokes into the end to keep the 99% and bring themselves up above that 900k mark for Very Cool. Extremely solid stuff for them.
Oh, almost a 3.5 million team score in a Grand Finals DT1. Now that is the aim performance that Very Cool wanted to see. We mentioned at the beginning, before the map even started, Whitecat, Emrek, Zudinator, those are 3 players you do not want to go up against on aim maps, and they are proving exactly why right here. Sawada with a very good performance as well. 2 100s, the 3rd best behind Whitecat and Malashevsky, who both only had 1. So that is a performance to look out for as well. Very good backing score, even being the lowest on the team. And that's a break point straight back to Very Cool right after Microwave Lobster gets themselves back into this match on that no mod 1 taking the break point. They're going to give it back away to Very Cool, and they're going to have the opportunity to potentially consolidate now. Badu is so happy about that result.
I just have to laugh a little bit. Reaction by 2300s on OD7. Oh my god. All right, sure. Well, yeah, I mean, Microwave Lobster dropping the ball a little bit on that pick, not able to keep that consolidated breakpoint that they just won back for themselves, and now giving that breakpoint back over to Very Cool is definitely not what they wanted to have happen after they were able to tie it up once again. Very Cool poised to put themselves up that 2-point lead once again with their next pick. But, we kind of talked about where do we see Very Cool pick into when the speed maps are gone. Apparently, we see them pick into this No Mod 6, which has been updated. I hate mappers.
Oh, goodness. Well, Very Cool. Going to be really making the kind of a lot of heads turn towards them here. As that losers bracket team, you generally expect a little bit more confidence out of the gate from your winners bracket team, and Microwave Lobster here has definitely been struggling a little bit more than we expected. I think a lot of it is coming down to the picking strategies at the beginning of this match, just favoring the team that is better at mechanics. And I think Very Cool has just simply been that team thus far, and they've, been doing a good job of holding it down right now. It's going to be a No Mod 6 pick out of Very Cool, an interesting strategy for them to pick into some of the gimmick stuff that I think Microwave Lobster has looked really good at so far. But again, leaving stuff like No Mod 2 up is a little bit questionable. They've got some ridiculously good stream players on their roster, and I wonder if they're maybe just leaving it for the sake of having it later on in the match when they might need it a little bit more. Forbid Microwave Lobster ever does decide to make a bit of a comeback here and take 2 or 3 points. They're going to need something like a No Mod 2 to get right back into this, especially if you've seen what White Cat does to No Mod 2s in tournaments alongside people like Bubbleman and Emrek. So a very strong team on that. But we'll see what happens on down right now, the No Mod 6. This is the first pure gimmick map that we've seen in the match thus far. Everything else is kind of bordered on gimmick a little bit. So even though it's partially favored Microwave Lobster, I think nothing has really been 100% their skill set here. And I'm very interested to see how these two teams face off on the first really gimmick centric pick like No Mod 6 here. Both very good rosters for this type of map. And it's just going to be about who's more consistent today.
We've seen some pretty good consistency from both of these rosters. So it's a tough question to answer going into this one. As of right now, we've seen better gimmick scores out of Microwave Lobster throughout the tournament, so you have to think that this type of map should be pretty solid for them. We do see a couple early breaks come out from Emrek on the miss-aim there in the top right corner. Malashevsky going to find a miss-aim of his own to match, however. Combo lead back over in the favor of Very Cool. And accuracy lead kind of dependent on White Cat right now with 95% accuracy. Does find a drop himself. Intercamping going to trade it back on some of the back and forth jumps there. Fancy and Zudi also trading. It's Bubbleman and Arnold with the only 2 remaining full combos. White Cat and Bubbleman on this 96% accuracy is massive for Very Cool, as only Malashevsky really able to match that kind of accuracy. Arnold close behind, still on the only full combo for Microwave Lobster. Another miss comes through for White Cat, the consistent rock for this team, not able to hold on to the combo alongside Zuniator, but Arnold and Bubbleman also trade those combos. It's Malashevsky to drop as well for Microwave Lobster, and Emrek the only player to hold for Very Cool with that big combo, the only player to keep it alive for them. And this map is looking very, very close. Once again, Fancy and Intercamping holding some combo for Microwave Lobster. Another couple of traded breaks come through for Malashevsky and Arnold, unmatched by any of the players on Very Cool. Fancy drops the combo there. Emrek drops the combo for Very Cool. And this is going to keep it pretty close for Microwave Lobster, but everyone on Very Cool is able to hold except for Emrek, and everybody drops on Microwave Lobster, and that is going to seal it up. Nearly 200,000 score in Very Cool's favor going into the last sliver of map.
What a stellar team performance from Very Cool on this map to bring it right home on that one. You absolutely love to see performances of that caliber on a map that I think, a lot of people maybe expected Microwave Lobster to be good at a lot of these gimmick picks here, and you can just see, based on the accuracy alone, I mean, look at Bubbleman. What in the world is that? 576,000. Bubbleman, certainly, I think we all knew that he was going to be really good at maps like this, but that is just something that you don't see every single day. It dominated the performance overall in this match by almost 100,000 score or more. So Very Cool now with that consolidated breakpoint under their belt here. Microwave Lobster, they're not down any more than they were before, but they've got to take that breakpoint in order to get right into this. They've got their own pick now. They'll have the break point that they need to take after, and then they've got their own pick in order to force match point if they need to. And they're going to have to make that switch now, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go, given the fact that Very Cool is now starting to make waves on the gimmick pool right now. They're going to start running out of space here. There is no Mod 4 left, and I wonder if they opt in for that, or if they maybe go back into that Hard Rock pool for Ergosphere.
There's a couple of maps that Very Cool can absolutely look to here near the end of the match. They have 2 points left to win and several picks left to do it. We have the No Mod 4, like you mentioned, from yesterday, one of the maps they are very, very strong on. Nomad 2 is still left up as well, and while there are a lot of really good stream players on the side of Microwave Lobster, Malashevsky and Reedcat in particular, I think would absolutely demolish that pick for Microwave Lobster. Still could be a pretty solid map for them, but they're actually going to go with something that we haven't seen yet this weekend in the Free Mod 1. So very different sort of pick from kind of what we might have expected from them with the Hard Rock 3 or the Nomad 4, and kind of picking into what we have already seen from them in the grand finals yesterday. They're saying here, hey, we're going to save those picks that we know are good for bracket reset. We don't need them yet. Let's show you that we can win even without dipping into those guaranteed points, or close to guaranteed points from yesterday. This is the low BPM stream aim focused pick mapped by LMT. It's CMS by Denkishiki Karen Ongaku Shudan, CS3, and really focused on as much aim control and finger control as possible, which, hey, if anybody's been paying attention, anybody want to talk about what that Nomad 6 that we just saw might test? And maybe some aim control, maybe some finger control. So I think this pick does look pretty good for them still on the Free Mod 1 right now.
Well, I am certainly looking forward to seeing what Microwave Lobster is able to do to respond to these breakpoints from Very Cool. Right now, they're going to need to do something sooner rather than later, obviously, with Very Cool. They're only 1 point off of a match point. Again, it doesn't seem like a lot because they only have one break point, but this is basically, 2 to 3 picks that Microwave Lobster need to get, with only dropping one to Very Cool, and that's been a big ask this match so far. Microwave Lobster hasn't necessarily been consistent on their own picks or the other teams, so you're really looking to see a bit of a turnaround here from them, and you kind of have to see it in order to really get themselves a comfortable position into the latter half here. But right now, Free Mod 1, this is their opportunity to turn this around. It's going to be a bit of an overmod on the side of Microwave Lobster. Malashevsky on the hidden Hard Rock. Very interesting to see what he's going to be able to do with that. Putting your strongest player on the hidden Hard Rock is generally the opposite of the strategy that some teams go for here, but maybe that's his most confident combination, so we'll see.
Typically, when we see the hidden Hard Rock this late in the tournament, it's just preference. He just wants that hidden added on to the HR that he probably would have been taking anyway on a map like this. But this map, CS3 and AR 9.7, definitely could be pretty comfortable with hidden as well. So a little bit interesting to see on this pick in particular, rather than just generally speaking about hidden Hard Rock. For those who are unaware, Free Mod is Force Mod in this tournament. Everybody needs to mod. That's why you see all 4 players on both teams taking some mods here. 3 hiddens for Very Cool. I might add, definitely preferring that hidden mod over the Hard Rock for these particular players. And I think on this map, absolutely a little bit of a hidden favored pick with that higher approach rate. Like I mentioned, that density on this map, not something that really gives a lot of players trouble, especially being an alt map. Reedcat and Fancy Lad going to find the first couple of breaks on either team, about 600 combo in, a quarter of the way through the map. Going into the first key eye time now, this is where you tend to see those breaks. The big space streams are what catch Arnold off at first, and everybody on Very Cool still holding these full combos. It is only Malashevsky on the side of Microwave Lobster to contest any of them from Very Cool right now. And this is just looking like a blowout pick, Chillier. Everyone on Very Cool still holding these full combos, and everyone on Microwave Lobster having a little bit of trouble with this, aside from Malashevsky. Whitecat and Taquito finally find a couple of misses. Emrek also finding a drop there. That is a massive 3-way break now for Very Cool, and it is only Bubble Man to hold on to the combo for Very Cool.
Maybe not a blowout.
Maybe not
on that one right there. Oh goodness, Bubble Man now the only one left on the side of Very Cool. But I guess if there was ever a player that you wanted to hold your team down for a win on, it's Bubble Man. He's got the most tournament experience out of anyone on his team right now. So if there's somebody that's going to have the consistency and the confidence to put up a good score on this right now, it 100% is him. Malashevsky's going to really struggle at this ending section with the hidden Hard Rock. The nerves are kicking in. The map is going to start to spike in difficulty a little little bit at the ending here. He's dropping accuracy all over the place. He's got Reedcat as a backing combo right now, and Taquito is helping Bubbleman out right now. Whitecat just lost quite a bit of score on a chain miss. There goes Taquito and Whitecat once again. Malashevsky and Reedcat are making it work. There goes Malashevsky, and it's gonna be Bubbleman to hold. What are we saying right now? Bubbleman, the experience continuing to pay off, the consistency. He's been doing this for years right now. This is an absolutely terrifying player. It doesn't matter what Bubbleman does. He can take breaks and just come back and be the same player he was before he took a break, because that's the amount of consistency that exists here. Reedcat's gonna miss on the space stream right there. There's gonna be no substantial combo left on Microwave Lobster to bring this back. It's 200,000 plus score in the lead, and Bubbleman is continuing to combo. What am I watching right now?
Yeah, you know, Bubbleman might not have been having the best of matches so far in this Grand Finals, but when he needs to turn it on, he absolutely can. Bubbleman is the player with the most experience at this highest level of any tournament player in the world. He has the most badges of any tournament player in the world, and situations like this just do not faze him. He is that solid rock that this team needed to force match point for Very Cool. 99.4% on the full combo for Bubbleman, the only FC in the lobby.
Dude, Bubbleman just went in for that map. What? 99.42% accuracy, drops a single 50, not to mention with hidden on that map. That is such a dense map when it comes to ulting through that and those flow aim patterns, and to just do that as if it was a casual score is absolutely ridiculous. And this is nothing against Microwave Lobster, but Bubbleman just gapped everybody in this lobby right now. Malashevsky with a 3 miss on Hidden Hard Rock is ridiculously impressive. Don't get me wrong, 600k on Hidden Hard Rock on this is super difficult to get, but 14 100s, 99.42% accuracy. Mind the freaking gap. That is what Bubbleman is all about right now. He comes back and does this every single time. Oh my goodness.
That's a score and a half for Bubbleman, and it's a 3-point lead for Very Cool. Mind the gap indeed for Microwave Lobster, as they are now down match point in this first bout of Grand Finals. Reminder again, Very Cool need to win twice. They need to get 14 points in total to win the tournament overall, but they are damn close to getting the first 7 right now. Only 1 point away from forcing that bracket reset, and for Microwave Lobster, that is a little bit of a cause for concern here with, you know, maybe some of the picks that you expected to go well for you not going the way that you might have liked here, as now Very Cool getting the next pick, and they are going to pick into this No Mod 2. That last pick from Microwave Lobster, another breakpoint given over to Very Cool, and Very Cool saying, thank you very much, we're going to run with that, and pick into the map that we have been saving as the last speed and stamina focused map in this map pool. It is Dustwind by Plum.
Yep.
Originally mapped for, I believe it was Corsace closed last year in 2021, over a year ago at this point. The latest star rating changes, bringing this one to nearly 8.5 stars, 210 BPM death streams, 210 BPM spaced death streams, I might add, is the name of the game on this one. Just a very few players in the world who can even attempt to set solid scores on a map like this, and I'd say almost the majority of them are probably in this lobby right now. You've got a lot of really, really strong Space Stream players joining in for this one, particularly Malashevsky, Arnold, and Reedcat come to mind on the side of Microwave Lobster as players who are going to be very, very good on this sort of map. But Whitecat, Emrek for Very Cool, Bubbleman probably to come in for this, maybe Sawada to come in for this as well on the side of Very Cool, I think are all going to be really, really solid for them on this sort of pick. Taquito also actually makes sense. Taquito was one of the top 3 players in Corsace Closed last year, so has some experience on this map and shouldn't really be fazed by playing the same map again in a different tournament, as he has already played this one at least once before in Corsace Closed. I want to see if they did play this yesterday. No, it was actually Bubbleman and Sawada who joined in for this one yesterday, so Slightly different roster for Very Cool this time around.
Well, this is a pick that I mentioned earlier that, Very Cool, we're maybe saving for this ending point here. We talked about it maybe being saved just in case Microwave Lobster took a couple of extra points, but they're just going to use it to close this out right now. There really is just, no possible way that all credit given to Microwave Lobster. I don't really see a world where Very Cool loses this map, and if they do, by more than a little margin. And that's purely on the basis of what I've been seeing White Cat do in this match thus far, and being one of the best stream players in this lobby at this type of map here. Don't get me wrong again, there have been some ridiculous plays out of players on Microwave Lobster like Reedcat and Malashevsky, who I think are going to be able to do fantastic on this map. But when it comes to these super high SR, high skill cap stream maps right here, I can't really think of anyone better to fit this role than somebody like White Cat right now.
Yeah, absolutely. White Cat has shown time and time again just how good he is on these types of high star rating, high BPM, mod 2 picks, and I fully expect him to put up one of the top scores in this lobby right now. We're going to get the worst timing on a little bit of Bancho buffering here. Make sure everybody's synchronized, hopefully. Please start back up soon. But yeah, taking stock of it, Malashevsky, Reedcat, and Intercambing is disconnected, a little bit behind. I'm not sure. Probably disconnected at this point. All right. I think we can probably get an abort on this. I'm not sure if it's just the client disconnecting or if it's Intercambing. I'm going to panic and we'll see.
It might be because his game was still going,
right,
so I think it was Bancho. Yeah, that was going to say, because normally if they disconnect, the notes stop appearing.
Oh, thank God. All right, good. Let's take stock of it. 2 full combos from White Cat and Emrek, to be expected. Malashevsky still on the FC as well, relatively expected there. Big supporting combo on Sawada and Arnold. Reedcat going to find the drop from Microwave Lobster. Sawada going to drop the supporting combo as well now. And this is still slight combo advantage for Very Cool, but it's a much more tenuous lead than they would have liked to see. Arnold's going to find the drop, though, for Microwave Lobster, and the tenuous lead is somehow now a very solid combo lead overall, as only Malashevsky is left to stand with that break from Intercambing. White Cat and Emrek just demolishing the pick, as you kind of hope for them to do for Very Cool. White Cat going to find the drop, but Emrek, the #1 player in the world, going to hold on to the full combo. The only one left in the... Okay, never mind. Well, I tried.
Well... Oh God, everyone breaks at this ending section right here. Yeah, that is a difficult part right there, but that's going to solidify it with all the breaks in there. The damage has been done, and that is it. Bracket reset is going to be forced. Very Cool going straight into this match against what I think some people may have thought with the strength of Microwave Lobster at this point. Very Cool proving to be the better overall roster for most of these picks that they had, and that is it. Very confidently 7-3. There is not much room there, and we'll have to see a big improvement from Microwave Lobster in that bracket reset after we take a bit of a break.
Very, very solid overall performance here from the side of Very Cool as they find themselves winning the first set in this grand finals and able to force that bracket reset. This is exactly what they needed to come out on top in this matchup, and in pretty convincing fashion, 7-3, an even better scoreline than they were able to put up yesterday against El Dupa. So this bodes very well for Very Cool going into this bracket reset coming up here, as now just about, a really, really solid score lead for them takes them into what they should be pretty confident as the second round of grand finals.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing what they're able to put up here in this bracket reset. Very Cool. If they even remotely put up half the performance that they just did in this, it is going to be interesting to see if Microwave Lobster even has anything in them to make this reset work in their favor. Malashevsky, we just did a quick match costs looking at everything right now. #1 match cost in the lobby by 0.02 over White Cat with a 1.3 1.5 playing every single map. Whitecat at a 1.48 playing every single map right there. And it is just the difference of that overall top 3 performance on Very Cool that made the difference there. Whitecat, Emrek, and Bubbleman, the 3 massive players on that roster performing across the board on the most maps for their team there. And the only difference, and a couple of supporting scores from some of the other players. You saw Fiery Rage with a very good DT4 score, Zoodinator on that DT1 as well. A lot of backing scores that were very impressive from that team to go up against those carries. On Microwave Lobster, it was kind of just Malashevsky. He had a couple of teammates that backed him up on a few of those picks, but he was very much taking charge of that match for his team right there. And in this bracket reset, that's the shift we're going to need to see from them. They're going to need to have that full switch in order to make this work.
Yeah, for Very Cool, it definitely does come down to, having the supporting players to give that extra boost to Malashevsky's overall scores. We saw just how much of an asset he was for them in this first round of Grand Finals. And for Microwave Lobster, if they are not able to bring those supporting scores up to par with what Malashevsky has been doing all throughout this tournament and what he has continued to do here in the Grand Finals, then it's going to bring a lot less pressure on the side of Very Cool, who, as we kind of talked about, had a really solid first run of that Grand Finals. The same plan that they had against El Dupa worked out very well here, picking into some of the speed maps, picking into some of the more gimmicky aim control and finger control focused picks near the end of the match as well. Hell, they didn't even need to break out the No Mod 4 that they won by the widest margin throughout the entire match yesterday against El Dupa. So this was a match where Very Cool had some other comfortable picks left up and still has the ability to get a lot of other maps picked up for them. So Microwave Lobster, it really is on them to either change up their pick strategy, pick more into some of that aim consistency that really did do wonders for them throughout the rest of this match. Things like the Hard Rock 2 and the No Mod 1, where they were able to pick up those 2 consecutive points after their first pick. I think, going back into some of those types of maps, picking into some of the other alt maps in this pool is definitely what they probably want to see in terms of the pick ban strategy. Of course, bringing the players up and making sure that the mental is good for all of the players on Microwave Lobster, that the players that you expect to see do well are still able to find those solid scores throughout this next match is going to be very important. But that pick ban strategy, probably going to see some changes to it in this bracket reset.
Yeah, very interesting. I am interested to see what changes in this next set right here. Again, we talked about at the beginning potentially having the gimmick skill sets and maybe the more technical maps go towards the favor of Microwave Lobster, and Very Cool would be good at the mechanics. And Very Cool, they stayed true to that. Very good mechanics overall through the entire match. They were unwavering in those skill sets there. And Microwave Lobster, they did a good job at the beginning of that match, taking some of the points that we thought would go in their favor. But just overall, I think Very Cool had a better day on the maps that we might not have given them enough credit for. And I think because of that, they were just able to capitalize on the picks much, much more in this match, especially when you look at things like No Mod 6, which you kind of classify as kind of that token gimmick pick right there. That went so far in their favor that I don't actually know if we're going to be able to see a turnaround on that for Microwave Lobster in this bracket reset right now. So we are really looking at kind of an uphill battle here for Microwave Lobster in most areas of this pool. And, I wish them luck in this bracket reset, but Very Cool at the current status is definitely taking charge of this match.
They absolutely are. With that said, we do still have a bracket reset to get started with. We're going to take a short 5-minute break for these players, give ourselves a chance to rest and bring in a new caster. It's going to be myself and Doomsday for the bracket reset to give Chillier the chance to go off and play some Osu game. So we're going to take a short 5-minute break, and we will be back soon with the bracket reset. Very Cool versus Microwaved Lobster. Don't go anywhere. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Perennial Grand Finals. It's time for our bracket reset. This time, for sure, the very last match of the tournament, and one best of 13 for all the marbles. It's very cool. Now the favored team, after taking down Microwave Lobster 7-3 in the first round of Grand Finals. I'm Dio. I am still here for this cast, and this time around I am joined by the one, the only, Mr. Doomsday. Welcome in, Dooms.
Hey, thanks, Dio. It's time. I was lurking the sidelines for that first match. That was pretty insane. Some of the scores from some of these players were ridiculous, and, well, now these two have had their eye in on such a long first match. This is the big one. This is the real deal. These players are all fully warm now, or as warm as they're going to be here. This should be something special.
It definitely should. We were talking before about kind of the pick ban strategy for Microwave Lobster in this bracket reset and what they need to change to end up winning this tournament and keep that first seed out of qualifiers intact, as they were the top seed and favored to win this tournament from the start. So kind of what do we think they need to change? We talked a little bit about maybe picking more of the aim consistency maps, but there's only so many of those in the pool. So where else do we think maybe they try to go towards for finding those extra points that they need to close it out?
Well, there are still a few maps that haven't been touched yet, but I think pretty much everything, certainly on the side of Very Cool, has been, it's been used up, really. We've almost seen every single map now. I can't see the bans changing much, but yeah. I'm also lurking on. I'm just here to see what's going on. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, we saw Malachevsky just absolutely rip up some of the maps in that one, and he's going to be in again. I don't know. I mean, we saw a couple players have a slow start, right? But then by the end of that game, we saw Bubbleman have that extremely good score.
Yeah.
On that hidden pick right at the end, saw some of their players really come into it.
No, absolutely. He turned on near the end of that match for sure. So it is tough to kind of say what we need to see change from Microwave Lobster, right? Chillier and I kind of talked briefly about make sure the mental is reset, make sure that your players are still confident going into the second round, and make sure there is a game plan for it as well. We saw the hidden 3 ban for Very Cool. We also saw them ban out that free mod 2 pick. So both of those reading maps are something that we know Very Cool, is actually scared of Microwave Lobster on. So maybe we see one of those picked in the first round of Grand Finals here, or the first, picked in the first round after bans. Just for those of you who are joining us for the first time or who didn't see the first half of the last match, bans in the Perennial are done a little bit differently from usual. They get one ban at the start of the match, and the second ban for each team comes through only after 4 maps have been played. So Microwave Lobster may be going to be picking into one of those 2 previously banned out maps.
At this point, I think we're just waiting on whether Hidden 2 is going to see another ban. I'll be very surprised if they leave it. If they change it, it's going to make me scratch my head a little bit. So I guess we'll see for that. But of course, you're looking at the likes of that free mod 2. But even then, I don't think the free mod 2 is going to be that bad. I can see both teams having a pretty solid roster of easy players to cover the reading, and the precision players aren't going to have too many issues with it. It's going to be a really tight fight. But surely the Hidden 2 is not going to come into this. Right? There it is.
Probably not. There we go. All right. So no Hidden 2 once again, unfortunately for Selena and Ryusuke Aika. Both of those custom maps banned out once again. Microwave Lobster just not wanting to deal with the 270 BPM speed fest that is that DT3. And Very Cool not wanting to deal with the so-called memory map there in the low approach rate hidden slot. So banning that out, keeping it off Microwave Lobster's hands. And I'm pretty certain we're going to see a first pick into that free mod 2 from Microwave Lobster, or at least see it picked up here in the first round. because of the fact that it was banned out second. I don't know that we see very cool pick into the Hard Rock 1, though. They've got very, very good aim consistency players in players like Whitecat, Mrek, Zoodinator, especially on Hard Rock, for Zoody in particular. But I don't know that we see them pick into that just because of the fact that both Hard Rock 2 and Nomad 1 went the way of Microwave Lobster last round. So despite the fact that Hard Rock 1 was banned out by Microwave Lobster, we probably don't see very cool pick into it. And instead, I'm thinking we see, once again, the Double Time 2, the Nomad 5, be those first picks for very cool.
Yeah, I can't see why they'd change what worked last time, what is so comfortable for the players they have. It was a pretty solid win on those maps too, so I mean, they could always leave that for later on in the game that's almost certainly going to go a good distance. But if they start out with it, it's completely sensible. I'd love to see a mix-up though. Nope, no mix-up. They are going to go with the same strat here. Right into that stamina and no mod.
Definitely a pick that makes sense here for very cool out of the gate, and something that I think we are going to see more and more of through this match. Just none of the funny business for them. They want to go right into the speed and stream stamina right now. It's map 250 BPM, mapped by Realazy, and something that really does kind of focus in a lot on burst speed and speed aim alongside a little bit of light tech focus, it being a Katagiri song, kind of expected for that much. But yeah, definitely a map that, less so than your typical just long stream stamina Nomad 5s, focuses a lot more in on the other aspects of speed maps that you commonly see.
Yeah, it does step on the toes of some of the speed sort of maps as well, because it is hitting that 250 BPM. But yeah, it's less about the raw stamina. Very breakcore style. You can hear in the song, you can sort of imagine exactly how the bursts are going to be in this. I imagine the lineups are going to be exactly the same. Yeah, Sawada, Whitecat, Bubbleman and Mrek in there for very cool.
No major changes, I don't think, to this roster for either team on this map. We kind of already see all of the major players for both of these squads in the first round of Grand Finals. So no surprises that the rosters are kept largely the same for both of these teams. Sawada, Whitecat, Bubbleman, and Mrek for very cool. Intercapping Ristal, Reedcat, and Arnold in for Microwave Lobster.
I definitely think very cool have a Microwave Lobster do have room to improve on their previous score. I'm looking at Arnold getting 400k, and we know he can definitely do much better on this. The second attempt might just be what he needs.
Couple of big drops already for both of these squads. Whitecat and Bubbleman dropping for very cool is actually massive here. Mrek now the only full combo left alive for them, and this map suddenly not going the way they would have wanted it to, as the big combo holders for very cool from the last round not able to put up those combos during the first half that they've held every single time so far, the other two times that this map has been played. And Arnold and Malashevsky really turning it on here in the first half, holding much better accuracy than the last time around. And despite this 99% full combo from Mrek, there's only so much he can do when the rest of his team keeps finding these combo drops one after the other. Ristal and Arnold holding this double full combo for Microwave Lobster is absolutely what they needed, as Intercamping and Reedcat hold on to better supporting score than anybody else on the side of Very Cool as well. Bristol will drop that full combo, and Arnold also dropping the FC now, and that gives Emrek a lot of breathing room for the side of Very Cool.
Yeah, Emrek's got a chance now to skyrocket his team back into the lead here. 200k, but that's not going to last very long at all.
So a quarter of the map left. Reedcat also drops the combo there, and this lead at this point now for Very Cool is absolutely massive. 700 combo on Bubbleman, 600 on Whitecat, and still the FC for Emrek going strong. Arnold, the only combo to talk about on the side of Microwave Lobster, and he drops as well. Trades it with Whitecat, but the trade from Whitecat not going to matter at all. Still nearly 99% for Emrek on this map as he finally finds the hour of the day to wake up. It is still 5:30 in the morning for Emrek right now, and he is putting the team on his back regardless of the time of day. Finally finds a drop there right at the end of the map, but not going to matter at all. No combos big enough on the side of Microwave Lobster to swing back this 200,000 score lead.
Pushing through that late night tide, and it's now the sun's rising. Taking on those sunbeams. That's a really good score from Emrek there. That accuracy, almost 99%, one miss. Quite incredible stuff there. Exactly what they needed too. Exactly what they needed. It's looking pretty scary there to drop that. You know, strong point for them in the first match, but that's the Emrek difference, man.
It really is. Number one player in the world, not for nothing right now, as, like you said, soaking in the sun rays and finally able to put up the kinds of scores that you expect from the best player in the world. Brings out the full core, the almost FC on No Mod 5, and brings out the first point for Very Cool once again. Credit to Microwave Lobster for making this close, though. Once again, only a 200,000 score difference. And you have to think if the timing on Matthew's tournament ban was any different, that they may have been able to win that pick, given that it was only 200,000 score, but not meant to be this time around, as now Microwave Lobster has to pick into the other reading map that is left up. Free Mod 2 here, Dance Away, mapped by Penic. This one, we saw 3 easies from Very Cool in the Losers Bracket Finals, and I am expecting 3 easies from both of these teams once again on the Grand Finals bracket reset. Like Fiery and Bubbleman have said here, wow, what an unexpected pick. It was banned out by Very Cool in the first round of Grand Finals, so definitely what we expected to see as one of the first 2 picks from Microwave Lobster.
Yeah, they've already had good experience here. I mean, last time they got 1.5 million in total, but that's not counting any sort of multipliers. They had some really good scores on the easies. I think all the easies had a really good one, and they'll be expecting that here again. But I mean, you look at the side of Microwave Lobster, though, and they also aren't going to have any problems with their reading players slipping in a Bidyu here. And the Zootinator and Fancy on those hard rocks. Extreme precision. Everyone else dealing with that extremely low approach rate, linear patterning. Lots of wiggle streams all the way through this one.
I believe we saw Zootinator go hidden hard rock yesterday on this map, not choosing to add that hidden this time around. This map is absolutely brutal on the circle side. CS 5.6 to start out, so over CS 7.2 after hard rock. And looking at the spacing on a lot of these wiggle patterns, you can see exactly why she chose not to add in that hidden. The only bit of score difference right now coming from the difference in combo between Zooty and Fancy. All of these easies still holding their full combos right now. Taquito finding the drop alongside Zooty is very big right now. Arnold does have a reverse choke on his easy score, and soon enough, this overall score lead is going to move in the favor of Microwave Lobster, multipliers or not on these easy scores.
Both Bubble Man and Fiery Rage, rock solid. Once again, they had a really good score in the previous match this appeared in as well. They're doing it again. Fancy with a break on his recovering combo. This really is the easy crew, though. That's 3 big, easy scores on Microwave Lobster, 2 FCs. Oh, it's mighty close, though. There goes Arnold near the end there on those triples. So dicey in the middle there, so close, neck and neck, but it appears to be the difference at the end here on these overlapping triples. 3 massive easy combos, the reverse choke there from Taquito, the break at the end from Fiery, but as cool as you like there from Bubble Man. It's another big easy score, the SS alongside Bidyu. Mighty close, but in the end, Very Cool going to be taking it. Going in for the pick you could have saw coming a mile away with the opening they had, and they've taken it, but it wasn't easy. Not until the end there. Not until the end there.
It definitely was not. Very, very close map. Overall score difference at the end of it, 200,000 in the favor of Very Cool. After adjusting for custom easy multipliers, we do have a custom easy multiplier of 1.6. So I went ahead and ran some calculations real quick, and the overall ending scores for these teams actually very, very high. 2.7 million for Very Cool after adjusting for the easy multipliers, and 2.5 million for Microwave Lobster. The difference definitely coming in from those 2 supporting easy scores for either of the rosters. Better supporting easy scores from both Fiery and Taquito compared to Bartek and Arnold, and better Hard Rock score to boot for Zoodinator, top scoring the lobby apart from custom multipliers with that 570k on Hard Rock, which is a really commendable score on this sort of map.
I'm just looking at that to soak in. The fact that I just saw 6 easies in a grand final. I'll soak in that experience for the rest of my Osu days, I'll tell you. You'll love to see it, to be honest. Good start here from Very Cool, though. Good start for them to try and keep this momentum going from that previous game. But, you know, that one was a pretty strong pick for them, all things considered. As this game goes on, of course, that's when the real challenge comes in. Here comes Nomad 2, which has been a late pick whenever we've seen it, Dio. Very early here.
Definitely has. It's been a little bit later on of the pick most of the time for Very Cool. But appears it's going to be double time 2 instead. All right, never mind. Not Nomad 2. Going to be DT2 instead for this one. So that fixed up.
Doing a little bit of baiting.
Yeah. Team baiting Fiery Rage apparently, but it's going to be a double time 2. I think this pick makes sense. We already saw Nomad 5 DT2 get played first off for Very Cool in the first round of Grand Finals, and well, not really any surprise that this gets picked again here in the bracket reset. I would expect Microwave Lobster to ban out that Nomad 2 afterwards as well, potentially banning out something like the DT1 or that Nomad 2, given just how one-sided those 2 maps were. As DT1, we saw a 1 million score gap between the 2 teams, and Nomad 2, we saw an almost 500,000 score gap as well. So Microwave Lobster really looking at those 2 maps as potential bans in the second round of bans that we get here. But before we get there, gotta go through this double time 2. Very finger control intensive sort of map. Lots and lots of lower length bursts at pretty high BPM, 233 I think on this map. Kind of punctuated by tons of doubles and quads and finger control patterns all throughout this map.
Yeah, compared to the Nomad 5 we saw earlier, this one it's a bit on the slower side. You know, 250 compared to 234 does have quite a different feel, but the style of this map, it's a very different sort of thing. Still very much stamina intensive, but There's a lot more control in this one, just in the raw rhythm sense and the raw tapping side of things. Still on the same sort of boat though, and well, it all worked out really well last game. Angel Kana slipping in for this one once again.
Angel Kana not been in for too many maps here in the Grand Finals weekend, but has been a valuable asset on this DT2 pick in particular. So very cool. Definitely looking to him to keep up the solid performance on this one and bring what he needs to the table for this pick, which is enough speed to help keep up with Whitecat, Emrek, and Taquito on a very finger control intensive sort of DT2. That's also why we see Taquito in for this map, aside from players like Sawada and Bubbleman, who could also do really, really well on a speed map like this. Taquito on finger control intensive picks in particular, very, very good, even at these higher BPMs. A couple of early breaks from Emrek and Bartek, trading those misses back and forth. The overall ACK lead, however, for very cool, keeping the score lead in their favor, even while the combo was in favor of Microwave Lobster. Now an ever so slight combo lead for very cool, going to help them extend that score lead slowly in their favor. Nobody really having too much major trouble with this map in the first quarter, looking very, very good for both of these teams.
A long one this though, a long song, doesn't really let up at all in the style. Oh, Taquito with the slip there. It's followed up by Ristel though, Malachevsky. They're still very much even Steven. Oh, a couple there from Whitecat. That's going to split things up a little bit. Still big combos on both sides. Oh, that's a massive implosion, though. Everyone is gone and very cool on that nasty section. Microwave Lobster, though, taking 3 major combos through that, including Reedcat's FC, which he's still holding so far.
Yeah, that set of combo drops for very cool might just lose them the map, as everybody finds drops halfway through the pick, even with that set of misses for Bartek right now. Like you said, Reedcat still on the full combo and might not have the best accuracy ever, but that doesn't matter. The combo is what really gives the score lead to either team, and with Taquito finding another set of misses alongside Angel Kana, Emrek the only combo even to speak of on the side of very cool. Reedcat still holding that FC. This is looking so good for Microwave Lobster. And this double time too, you take a look at some of the score differences that we had for Microwave Lobster and very cool last round. Microwave Lobster had the most trouble on DT1 and Nomad 5 out of these speed picks, not on this DT2 pick. So even despite those misses coming through for Reedcat and Malashevsky, Arnold now on the come up with a good combo of his own. Everybody missing actually for Microwave Lobster now. But look at the score lead, 350k in the lead for Microwave Lobster. And even with combo on Whitecat right now, there's just not that much time left in the map, less than a sixth of the map to go. And only so much combo, only so much score that very cool can claw back with the combos they have right now.
Yeah, it's job done. The combo through that middle section, doing the work. Reedcat's speed, man. You might say it's slow, but that's a mighty impressive, even if it is low ACK. Great combo there. And well, that's going to be a bit different. Microwave Lobster taking this one this time. On the board there, break point there for Microwave Lobster. To bring it back to 2-2 for that ban phase 2. Or possibly. The one miss from Reedcat, 93%, but just don't miss. 1600 combo there.
Yeah, super solid stuff for Reedcat on that map. 650k, top scoring in the lobby for Microwave Lobster, alongside Arnold getting well over 500k on that map and bringing the score lead to where it needed to be. Those consistent combos held for Malashevsky and Arnold, really doing a lot of work in supplementing the scores for Reedcat. And that's kind of what we talked about Chili Repair and I, before this bracket reset started up, was we needed to see some standout performances from some of the other members of Microwave Lobster on some of these picks, and this is the kind of score that brings that confidence into a bracket reset where you need it after losing that first round. If you can take an early breakpoint right back, and on a map where you were favored to lose that you lost during the first round of Grand Finals as well, definitely a solid overall point for Microwave Lobster, and this Hard Rock 2 as well now. A power pick, to be sure, for Microwave Lobster after what we saw in the first set. Microwave Lobster able to take this pick by, if memory serves, a pretty wide margin on this Hard Rock 2. It was one of the earlier picks that we saw right after the second round of bans, and we did see them win this pick by about 500,000 score, largely off the back of a near full combo 800k from Malashevsky on this one.
Yeah, pretty sizable win, but I think, again, like on a couple of these maps, I think Very Cool definitely have some room to improve on this one, given their mechanics players. But yeah, Microwave Lobster have every reason to be confident on taking this one too, especially after Reedcat had that really good performance. He's going to be confident going into Precision Hard Rock, one of his own strengths. Malachevsky, of course, this entire game has been doing his bit, as we know. So, yeah, this is a great time to go into a pick like this, I think, for the individuals involved. We are taking a minute to join the lobby, though, but I imagine they know exactly. It's going to be the same four again. But for something like this, you know, this sort of precision style, this, you know, more mechanics-focused things, you can swip and swap, but it's unlikely at the Grand Finals level. There's Intercambing, there's Fancy, and there's Reed. A lot of control in this fairly old-school Fansion map with lots of tricky bursts and lots of awkward angles in it too, with that CS. It's a very multifaceted map, this, very multi-skill. Not just about precision or control, or even aim, or even just awkward aim in general. It's got a lot of bits and bobs to this. Oh, it looks like actually we are seeing a bit of a swap, I think, for Very Cool, if I'm not mistaken, on this. Fiery Rage swapping out for Emrek here. I mentioned that it is a bit of a rarity, but when you're swapping out the players involved, Fiery Rage to Emrek, even at Grand Finals level, I don't think there's going to be too much worry in not dropping the ball. But it's interesting to see a swap when you reach this sort of level.
It definitely is. Although I think Emrek going in for this one does make a bit of a sense. Fiery Rage having the most trouble with this pick in the first round of Grand Finals and bottom scoring the lobby for his team. So maybe not feeling as comfortable on the map, not feeling as confident going into this bracket reset. Although right now, it seems like it doesn't really matter who they would have had in. 3 breaks for Very Cool. Only Zudinator to hold the full combo. 3 matching breaks for Microwave Lobster, but better supporting combo on Malashevsky and Intercambing. Fancy Lad and Zudi holding the full combos right now for either of these teams. Very, very solid precision Hard Rock players for both of them. Zudinator, I know, has played sets of this map quite a bit with Hidden Hard Rock before, and so definitely kind of comfortable on this sort of map. But random breaks coming through during the slow section for White Cat, definitely not what Very Cool wants to see on this pick. Already 100,000 score lead for Microwave Lobster getting into the second half of it here. Big drop for Fancy Lad and Intercambing, though. The Space Stream section going into the second half of the map, catching them off and bringing the score lead within touching distance for Very Cool. Big combo on Zudi to bring them over that score lead line. No, she finds the break as well, as now it's Emrek and Bubbleman with some combo to stand against Ristel and Reedcat. Malashevsky there, the only combo now left, as Reedcat finds the drop on the Space Stream for Microwave Lobster, and this score lead swaps over to Very Cool's side.
Yeah, the recovery is looking very nice here for the red team. Emmerich looking like a pretty good slip in here. Just about to overtake Fiery's score from last time, so good move there on their part, I suppose. The breaks there going to hurt it, though. Golden Man, the only major combo on a very cool left as we get to the slightly slower bit.
So close between these two teams. Malashevsky and Bubbleman, like you said, the only two combos remaining. But there is pretty big combo on Fancy Lad. He finds a miss here. Last quarter of the map. Bubbleman misses right before it, and it's only Malashevsky now with any combo on these teams. He's going to just have free reign over this entire lobby going into this slow section, and free score lead built up for Microwave Lobster now.
What a brutal time to drop your combo there. Almost 200k going into the final drop. It is all on Malachevsky though, but the combos from Very Cool aren't very significant. The job might already be done here.
It looks more than over at this point, even with some chain misses to come through for intercamping by the end of the map. More than enough score lead built up, particularly by Malashevsky's one miss, 920,000 score on that map. The same player who found that 800k score last time around now bumps that up to a 99.5% one miss play on this map. Absolutely massive for Microwave Lobster to tie it up here before the second round of bans.
It's incredible stuff from Ristel here. Incredible stuff. And, you know, the consistency on this is incredible, and it was so important as well because the rest of his team slightly underperformed compared to the last time too. But no issue for Microwave Lobster. Well, without the FEMOD 2 ban happening because it was played, we got a new slot to play with here, Microwave Lobster, for their ban.
We'll see what they end up wanting to ban this time around. I have to assume it's not the Hard Rock one. We do see instead that DT one come out as a ban for them. I think a very well-placed ban. It's the map they lost by the largest margin in the first round of Grand Finals, and a hidden one ban now from Very Cool. Scared of the tech and hidden prowess from Microwave Lobster on that map. Understandable. That is essentially just a 200 BPM tech map in hidden, mapped by Ray Lazy. So not the kind of map that you want to go up against players like Malashevsky on, for example. Some other very, very good hidden tech players on the side of Microwave Lobster as well. So not necessarily the best of maps for Very Cool. And we're going to see the last open hidden map get picked up for Microwave Lobster now. Hidden 3, Children of Bottom's Chokehold, mapped by Mazarin.
I'm breaking out the Mazarin.
Wait a second, it's not his pick. He just picked for...
Oh.
he just picked at the wrong time. Well,
that, are we? Well, you know, it's mind games. Get into the head of your opponent, very important.
I suppose so.
Well, it's the only hidden left open, so you wonder if you will see it at some point. Chokehold. With the double ban from Very Cool, it really telegraphs it.
I definitely.
Here comes number 6.
This is a map we saw in the last round. It's a map that Very Cool was able to win, but again, another map where they won it by a relatively close margin. It was about 200,000 score in Very Cool's favor, so absolutely within touching distance for Microwave Lobster, and not necessarily the map that they are the best on in the rest of this pool. I think that award probably goes to Nomad too, but they're probably looking to save that map for later on in this match to try and close it out with that Nomad 2 pick. Last time we saw this in the first round of Grand Finals, this Nomad 6 pick, it was Bubbleman to top score the lobby with almost 580,000 score, more than 100k up on the second best player in MREC on his own team. So very, very likely we see those two players stay in for this one on the side of Very Cool. And we do see Zudi, Whitecat, and MREC stay in. Those other three players, aside from Bubbleman, who were in last time around for this pick. Intercamping currently on the wrong team. So once he moves out of the way, I'm assuming we'll see Bubbleman come in as that last player for Very Cool.
Yeah, the lineup writes itself. This is not the sort of map that you want to be throwing people in that have a few doubts. You might as well throw the people in that have already played it once in match. Because gimmicky things like this, you really need to get your eye in. Throwing someone in out of the cult is really not a good idea. The clue is in the name. When the song is called Devious Panda, you know you're in for some whacked out rhythms and aim and rhythm control. I'm not surprised to see Bubbleman do so well on this in the first match either. One of the best finger control players in the game.
I mean, for anybody who's watched Bubbleman's personal stream and has seen enough of him just playing the game, you might have seen Devious Panda in there a few times sending his polyrhythm rhythm maps Bubbleman's way. One of the primary test players for Devious Panda on these types of maps. So yes, it's mapped by down this time around, but absolutely a type of map that Bubbleman excels on, to the point where the primary mapper of this style goes out of his way to send his maps over to Bubbleman for test playing. So definitely somebody who you expect to do super well on this, has the finger control, has the speed, and has the aim control to just put up monster scores on this type of map. And he's going to have to, once again, a couple of early breaks for either of these squads, but biggest combo deficit right now on Whitecat with that most recent break. But I'm going to find the drop as well, still on very good accuracy, but not with the combo to back it up, and that is not what you want to see. Still a four-way full combo right now for Microwave Lobster, as Fancy Lad, Malashevsky, Intercamping, and Arnold still all hold on to those full combos.
There's some mild combo gaming going on, but it is with Team Blue.
Definitely a lot of act drops here for Arnold in particular, still holding on to that full combo. Couple of drops for Intercamping and Zudi going to be traded back and forth. Fancy going to drop as well now, but Bubbleman again going to find the drop, and it is only Whitecat with combo left up for Very Cool. These earlier picks from the first round of Grand Finals not going as well here in the bracket reset for Very Cool. First on DT2 and now on Nomad 6, as both Ristel and Arnold continue to hold these full combos and heavily overperform on this map in comparison to what they were able to do in the first round of Grands. Whitecat doing as best he can to just hold on to this combo for dear life, but it is already almost a 300,000 score lead up for Microwave Lobster. Malashevsky finally going to find the drop, but Arnold is not, and Whitecat is. This map is over in the favor of Microwave Lobster, able to pull out the win, and a second breakpoint in a row now after what was a pretty solid pick for Very Cool in the first round. Oh, no. Gets completely flipped on its head here in the bracket reset.
Arnold, he was going in with that 85%. Not an FC. He slider broke 20 combo from the end, but you gotta applaud the combo gaming here from Arnold. Yeah, it's a brilliant point to steal away from Very Cool. Yeah, it really didn't work out. Bubbleman once again with a very nice A, but the combo just wasn't there to get that score to where it needed to be. So, yeah, this time, not this time. It's Very Cool.
And I want to add, Very Cool actually beat their score from last time around. They had 1.66 million last time around, 1.72 million this time around, so they improved their score by 60,000 as compared to in the first round of bracket reset. But the improvement for Microwave Lobster just on another level, improving by 520,000 score, going from 1.4 million to 1.9 million here in the bracket reset. So just absolutely massive overperformance, particularly from Arnold and Malashevsky, who both top scored the lobby this time around. And now we get another map that actually went the wrong way for Microwave Lobster in the first round of Grand Finals. It is this double time 4 pick Getsure no Candle Magic by Shibayan. Originally, we saw this go the way of Very Cool, again, by a pretty close margin, only 230,000 points in Very Cool's favor for this, but particularly White Cat and Fiery Rage with standout scores for Very Cool, able to bring it over to their side. 800k on the one miss for White Cat, 630k for Fiery Rage. We did see some solid scores, however, from particularly Malashevsky and Fancy Lad on the side of Microwave Lobster, and if we see them bring those scores up to where they feel they should be, we're probably going to see an even bigger improvement for Microwave Lobster on this type of map as well.
Yeah, this one's a big toss-up, I feel like, with the lineups we have here. It seems like the players that did really well last time, they could do well again, they might not. But some of the players that, you know, had the lower scores in the lobby last time, I could definitely see them improving a lot. You know, looking at Microwave Lobster, you know, Bubbleman and Taquito were in for this, and I could definitely see them pulling off high 700, 800k scores on something more control-focused, more technical like this. You know, it's below 200 BPM. This is not a speed map. It's more of a control, high AR reading map, I suppose.
Yeah,
I think anyone in this lobby could really do it here.
This map is definitely a test more so of how good your high approach rate reading is and how good your aim control is on very high BPM alt patterns, right? This is a 128 BPM map. So after DT, this is only 192 BPM. It's not fast, but when you have patterns that are meant to be played at less than 130 BPM, rated up to 200 BPM almost, the aim control required for those is absolutely ridiculous. And you add on the high approach rate to that, it just becomes an absolute bear to play for a lot of players. I believe we see a bit of a swap here. No Taquito this time around for Very Cool. Instead replaced by Zoodinator for this roster. Identical roster, however, for Microwave Lobster on this pick. So we'll see if that roster swap for Very Cool allows them to keep control of this map. They did win it last time around, but again, very close, and it could go either way here with this pick. A couple of early misses for Zoodinator, not off to the best of starts. Everybody else holding on to the full combos, however. So overall combo deficit not too big for Very Cool right now. Shouldn't impact too much in this map.
Yeah, plenty of time for recoveries to happen. Players to get used to the stylings, but it seems like the majority of the lobby having no early issues. Plenty of time for Zooty to bring that back, though. Another miss there is gonna hurt things a bit more, though. 3 FCs to 2 in favor of Microwave Lobster.
Now a drop from Bartek comes through, and it is going to be an FC dropped in response from Fiery Rage. White Cat also dropping the supporting combo there, so FC advantage still in the favor of Microwave Lobster now. Ristel and Fancy Lad still holding on to that double full combo as opposed to just Bubbleman with the FC right now for Very Cool. A lot of map left, though. Still in the first half at this point. There is still quite a lot of combo left, quite a lot of places for these players to find misses, and quite a lot of places for combos to build back up as well. We saw a big combo in the second half be the deciding factor for Very Cool on this map the first time around, and that could still happen, but we're going to have to see some breaks here pretty soon for Malashevsky and Fancy Lad for that to be viable, closing in on that 150,000, 200,000 score lead for Microwave Lobster.
Kind of brutal for Very Cool, because on the whole their accuracies are looking really good, but it's just the aim slips that set them back here.
Another couple of aim slips for Zooty to bring the combo back down to 0 and reset it once again. Big supporting combos for Bartek and Intercamping, now matching the supporting combos for Fiery and White Cat, and it is just a full combo advantage for Microwave Lobster, still increasing this score lead up above 300k at this point. This is still a double full combo 3/4 of the way into the map now for Microwave Lobster, with Malashevsky and Fancy Lad absolutely popping off, and even with the misses from Bartek and Intercambing, this is still combo advantage for Microwave Lobster. 300,000 plus score up right now with just a sliver of map left. This one is over, and the only question is how many cool combos we're going to see going into the ending here, Dooms. We still got 3 on the board right now.
I'll make that 2, but yeah, Malachevsky and Bubbleman there. There goes Bubble. It's just the only Malachevsky left with the FC.
Is he going to do it? This ending is so ridiculous, but he's able to pull it off. He hits the back and forths right into the ending and manages to hit the cut streams back at the very end of the map as well. 98% on the full combo here for Malachevsky. Absolutely ridiculous score to pull off in match. This is a ranked map, by the way, and that is the only double time full combo on the map. First DTFC for Malachevsky in tournament on this map. Absolutely ridiculous score, and this is the kind of player who Microwave Lobster invested in going into this match, right? This is the player that this roster is built around, and he is the one who all their 4-player lineups are built around here in this bracket reset as well. Now up 4-2 for Microwave Lobster.
Take a bow. We've got to talk about, though, we had 3 FCs going into that ending. There were only 3 scores on the leaderboard with, 1700 combo. And there was 3 right there. And one of them actually got through the ending, so yeah, wow. Well, what next? What next here for Very Cool?
What next, indeed. Very cool. Now, with the next pick, Bartek once again picking Nomad 3 when it is not his turn. I think he's doing it on purpose at this point. He's just picking. He's just here picking his maps, telegraphing the picks. But no, I think
mind games, man.
I think at this point for Very Cool, you're looking for one of these other maps that you have won on to just bring yourself back into it, right? You don't want to let this get out of control, because once it does for Microwave Lobster, you're looking at match point very quickly here at a 4-2 scoreline. So I like this Nomad 2 pick. I think usually they would probably want to save this one for later on into the match when they can maybe, win without the tiebreaker and just save this for that point. But right now, Very Cool has the pressure put on them by Microwave Lobster to find those successful picks, and this was their best map last round. So bringing it out here when they are down that break point to make sure that they don't give up another one is, I think, a very smart move from Very Cool to keep themselves competitive in this bracket reset. It's all or nothing right now, and being down that break point is definitely not where you want to be when those score lines start climbing from 4 to 5 to 6. So definitely a solid pick for them.
Yeah, completely agree there. Completely agree. They need to just stem this momentum now. Otherwise, it's just going to snowball out of control. But the thing with stream maps is sometimes it clicks. Other times you chain miss and miss 20 times, lose all of your AC, and you got half the score of what you thought you could have got. And well, that does play into it, even at the very highest level. That said, though, the accuracies from last time do tell a story. A couple of players on Microwave Lobster, sitting around with, low 96, 95s, 94s, whereas everyone on Very Cool was much higher than that. Shows a great base comfort from their 4. So that's definitely a bit of confidence to take into, a hyperspace stream map like this. Well, they're plenty warm now.
They should definitely be plenty warm, but one thing to note, this is a long match, right? They've been playing for over 2 hours at this point in this match, not including the warm-up they probably had before this match. So you can start to get some fatigue issues for some players. Luckily, for a lot of these speedier players, I don't know that it's going to be too much of an issue. Whitecat, Mrex, Sobata, and Bubbleman on this map is a roster and a half for a 210 BPM Deathstream map like this. Absolutely disgusting roster for Very Cool on this type of map, and that is why the score lead was so big last time around. Like you said, sometimes it clicks and you find exactly the scores you want, and sometimes you chain miss and lose a lot of score all at once. But for these players, it clicks 9 times out of 10, and that is the reason why Very Cool feel comfortable picking this map when they are down this break point and needing to stem that momentum from the last 3 wins in a row coming out of Microwave Lobster. I'm sorry, 4 wins in a row, actually. This was a 2-0 start for Very Cool, and now 4 in a row for Microwave Lobster. So yeah, absolutely crucial to stem the momentum and put themselves back on the board with this one. A couple early misses for Sawada and Malashevsky here at the very beginning of the map. Shouldn't impact too much as the combos just about matching and the accuracy in favor of Very Cool anyway.
Those zigzags coming in now. Seeing a few misses slip in now. Very Cool, losing quite a few FCs there. 2 of them are gone.
More FCs gone from Microwave Lobster now as Intercamping and Reedcat both drop their full combos in turn. It's Malashevsky and Arnold with the full combos for Microwave Lobster. Malashevsky actually on a reverse choke, so not quite FC. Up against Bubbleman and Whitecat with both proper full combos here. And incredible accuracy to boot on those full combos as well. A little bit of better supporting combo for Intercamping up over Sawada. Pretty much matching supporting combo on Emrek and Reedcat. We'll see who's able to hold through some of these space triple sections. Arnold does find the drop for Microwave Lobster, and now this is big for Very Cool. Massive combo lead for them, up an entire FC over Microwave Lobster. Emrek does find another one of those chain misses and drops a lot of hundreds afterwards, but still combo advantage for Very Cool as Reedcat drops in turn for Microwave Lobster, and it's only Malashevsky and Intercamping with big combos right now. Reedcat on a massive chain miss there for Microwave Lobster. Bubbleman going to trade the full combo out for a supporting combo from Intercamping, and now it's Whitecat versus Malashevsky with the big combos, but Sawada has been quietly pulling up this 900 combo now to support Whitecat, and even with those misses coming out from Whitecat, Malashevsky going to trade them, and Sawada going to hold the combo long enough into the ending to more than secure the point, up 300,000 score plus for Very Cool by the end of it.
Incredible stuff there from Whitecat. He was holding SS for so long. And as a matter of fact, I think that's very much almost an SS there from Whitecat.
Oh my word. That is...
Goodness me. Look at that.
that is the closest you get to SS without actually SSing. The only thing he could have done better was drop a 100 instead of a 50 on the slider break, but that may as well have been an SS. 0 100s, only 1 slider break for Whitecat on the S rank. Ridiculous score for him. He and Bubbleman, big parts of the reason why they were able to win that point and put themselves back on the board, now 3-4.
You can definitely see that the warm-ups coming in, the accuracies across the board better from everyone, but it's going with Very Cool again, and I imagine they're not too surprised about that. But still, what a way to do that. And here comes Hidden 3. I think. No? Yes, no? Maybe?
Yes, indeed, it is Hidden 3. This chokehold by Children of Bottom. The die with a beer in your hand difficulty. I love Mazarin diff names.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. This map is, you can hear it in the song, right? Low BPM aim control, 1/3 jumps all over the place. Just massive spacing on a lot of the back and forth wiggle streams and wiggle jumps in this map all over the place. Something that Badu should be very, very comfortable on for Microwave Lobster. A lot of really solid hidden players, Arnold included, Fancy Lad included, Riskel included in that for Microwave Lobster. And we've seen this team completely demolish hidden threes before in this tournament. These aim control, finger control style hidden maps that fill in that hidden 3 slot are right up their alley, to the point we saw a 3-way full combo on the map in the same slot in finals. Now, that was a little bit of a different sort of map, but it still stands very similar sorts of picks, and you can expect this roster to put up a very solid score on this sort of map. Now, that being said, Very Cool with some extremely good players on this type of map. for themselves. They played this against El Dupa and were able to win it by about 200,000 score. White Cat, Zudinator, Bubbleman, and Emrek going in then and going in once again here in bracket reset to try to take a break point against Microwave Lobster.
I must have saw those scores in the multi and thought, yeah, we can beat those. And I can definitely see some of these individuals having a field day on this. I can also see a big improvement from Very Cool. You know, we're seeing the same lineup in here again that played this last time for Very Cool. And, max score, 440k from White Cat. I can definitely see higher scores from them here. You can't underestimate the aim control for this.
Yeah, it's already off to a shaky start for both of these teams. 3 misses for Very Cool right in the intro. 1 miss from Malashevsky from Microwave Lobster. Everybody else still holding the full combo. Slider break for Fancy Lad. Another couple misses for Emrek to trade it out. Badu, Arnold, and White Cat still holding these FCs. The 3 players kind of call out to expect to do well on this pick. White Cat going to find the drop for Very Cool, and that leaves only Microwave Lobster's roster with any full combos alive. It's Badu and Arnold, the 2 hidden mains, and in Badu's case, the alt aim control prodigy here to just completely hold the combos as long as possible. Apparently not very long, as Badu going to find the drop after those 1/6 bursts. It's Arnold now, the only FC left, but far better supporting scores for Microwave Lobster. So many frequent misses for Very Cool that now Malashevsky and Fancy Lad are able to put together a combo lead of their own.
Just does not stop. There isn't a single break point in this, pretty much. Seeing Emrek drop his recovery. White Cat is recovering nicely. And really, it's only Arnold or Microwave Lobster, so it's still very much on the edge for both teams. Into the 1/3 now. The snapping on these cursors with these cursor trails. Oh, there goes Arnold though. White Cat just dropped as well though, but it is still with Microwave Lobster thanks to those recoveries. But it's still all good here for Team Blue.
You look at the supporting scores for Microwave Lobster, and it's, Malashevsky does find a miss on one of them, but you've got big combo on Badu and Fancy. But you're going to find a miss as well now, so it's just Fancy Lad actually holding on to the combo for Microwave Lobster with that 3-way break. Does put the lead in a bit of a tenuous position for them. Zudinator and Bubbleman still holding on to good combo for Very Cool. White Cat, namely, not finding the success he had on this map the first time around, struggling to put together the big combo that gave him a lot of that score lead in the first round in that losers bracket finals against El Dupa. Bubbleman, however, going to find the combo drop, and there goes Zudinator as well. And despite the combo dropping for Fancy Lad on Microwave Lobster, this is a 200,000 score lead that is squarely planted in the ground from them, as matching combos arise and fall once again from both teams all over the place. We just keep switching the focus because the players with the combos keep switching out one after the other. It was Arnold, now it's Fancy, now it's Emrek, now it's White Cat, as they basically just keep trading these combos one after the other, but the score lead stays where it is, 200k for Microwave Lobster, less than a quarter of the way to go before the finish line.
Very Cool are going to start reeling them in very slowly, and with that Fancy's break there, they're going to start reeling them in a bit more here. 200k, not a lot of the map to go though. Oh man. Still plenty of nasty mapping to go, but they are getting closer, but not close enough. That's the 2 aim prodigies. They're trying so hard here. 100k, but things are closing out. They're still getting closer. There's still misses coming out here for Team Blue, but it's not enough. It's just not enough, but you got to give them props for that effort. But Team Blue, with those massive combos in the first half, going to seal that deal. Give a pat on the back there to Arnold for that 1k combo he held at the start there, which really ended up being the difference with a little bit of the team as well. great team score overall here for Team Blue. They're very cool, making that much, much closer through that outro.
Absolutely. Only 60,000 score for Microwave Lobster, the difference on that map. And I might add again, improvement for Very Cool compared to the losers bracket finals. They got 1.3 million against El Dupa, and that was enough to win them the pick, but 1.46 here, not enough for them to win against Microwave Lobster, who pulled out over 1.5 million team score on that map. Like you said, Dooms, largely off the back of that 450k from Arnold, the 1k combo at the start of the map doing work for them, but as well, some of those supporting scores, 380k from both Fancy and Malashevsky, really putting in work for them. And this is kind of what we were talking about in between the bracket reset and the first round of grand finals, was we needed to see other players on Microwave Lobster start to put up those big scores that we know they're capable of at this highest level, and that is how they are going to start winning these picks. Well, guess what? The top two performers on that map, Arnold and Fancy, not Malashevsky, who had been putting the team on his back throughout that first round of grand finals, who had that full combo on DT4 earlier in this match as well. It is the other players who are stepping up and supplementing his scores, making sure that we have enough of a score lead for Microwave Lobster to get over the finish line on a lot of these picks, and they are looking really, really good because of it. Up 5-3 now against Very Cool, with the next pick over to Very Cool. This is still a consolidated breakpoint for Microwave Lobster, so every pick really counting for Very Cool now, and this pick in particular, a crucial one for Very Cool. Fremod 3 gonna be the pick from them, a completely different map from what we've seen so far. Have not seen this weekend, and this pick is really important. If Very Cool lose this, Microwave Lobster go up 6-3, and that is match point. They have the next pick, so if Very Cool lose this, they give over both match point and next pick to Microwave Lobster at the same time, so they need to be confident in this Fremod 3. Awkward aim, 220 BPM, high note density on hidden, and high mechanical strain on hard rock. It's Yugure 1 room, mapped by Lucent. Custom mapped for this tournament as well. Very, very tricky sort of map to be consistent on, but something that when you look at the roster for Very Cool, you think, yeah, they have some absolutely ridiculous hidden and hard rock aim players that can take advantage of a pick like this very, very easily. But the same goes for Microwave Lobster. So many good aim consistency players on both of these teams, and we saw that in full force on Nomad 1 in the first round of Grand Finals when we almost saw 5 full combos on Nomad 1. So it's going to be tough for either of these teams to pull out a decisive lead on this map, and I am really interested to see how this one goes.
It's always a nasty one in this situation, going into something mechanically focused. Especially when you've already seen, the level of performance from these two teams on the mechanics-focused maps, as you mentioned. Especially one like this, where you're pulling it really out of thin air. Very Cool did not play this yesterday. You haven't touched it. With it being more mechanics, it's not too out there of a pick. They haven't gone and picked something really avant-garde, but with the focus on the mods now, you're bringing out those hard rock players that maybe haven't seen too much of hard rock in this game so far, and of course the hidden players we've seen a bit more of. It's a bit of a toss-up, but maybe that's what they need, again, to stem this momentum. Microwave Lobster now, with the rest of their players, coming into this game now, much better than they did in the first match. Something like this, that could be a bit of a coin flip given the skill sets, might be what they need.
Well, let's see if this coin flip turns up heads for them. We got 3 hiddens for Very Cool on this map. White Cat, Zudinator, and Bubbleman all taking the hidden. Fiery on the hard rock only for Very Cool right now to go in for this map and to hopefully keep them alive in this bracket reset. Malashevsky, Arnold, and Reed Cat joining Badu for this one. Hidden only for Arnold and Badu. Not too many surprises there. Hidden hard rock for Malashevsky, as he prefers, over hard rock only. A hard rock for Reed Cat. Lots of early misses for Bubbleman on this one, though, finding a lot of that note density, causing some of the chain misses early on for him. So not the start that Very Cool would have liked on this map, and a lot of the times these early misses foretell a little bit of the rest of the map, as this section yes, it's difficult, but it's not the main part of the map that you need to watch out for. These KI times where you get all the overlapping sections, all the anti-aim patterns, and all of the big spacing to force out that combo density is really where it starts to pick up. Bubbleman going to trade the misses with Arnold this time around, but just not finding a consistent combo at all on this pick and really relying on the rest of the team to pull out the good scores to keep them alive in this one. But it's Fiery to find the second miss for Very Cool, and nobody on Microwave Lobster to match. White Cat to drop a miss as well now halfway through, and this is just looking disastrous for Very Cool. Zudi, the only player left with a combo against both full combos from Malashevsky and Badu.
Taking that hidden hard rock, flexing a little bit, but not a problem here from Malashevsky. It's another masterclass from him. Badu, when he's been needed, he hasn't, haven't seen him too much in this grand final, but he has shown up whenever he has been called upon.
At this point, this lead just insurmountable for Very Cool. Microwave Lobster crushing this pick and potentially crushing the hopes of Very Cool. Malashevsky still on the full combo with Hidden Hard Rock. Gonna close it out with the FC as well. Matching FC from Zudinator with the hidden only, but all for nothing as the team consistency not there on this pick for Very Cool. Microwave Lobster now up 6-3. And an immediate no mod 3 pick for Microwave Lobster right after that free mod 3 finishes. They know exactly how they want to close this match out.
This must have been saved a little bit. They must have had this planned out considering how quick that was. Whether it's the other players warming up on it before this one, but they're looking to try and close this out the same way that it started, Dio. Of course, assumes they can, making out the alternate heavy pick here. And well, we just saw Badu have a really nice run on his pick. He's going to be staying in for this one as well. He top scored for his team last time, so don't fix what ain't broke.
No, absolutely not. I mean, this is, like you said, the map that they led off with last time around. It was their first pick. Now, it was very close. Let's be clear about this pick. This is by no means a guaranteed point for Microwave Lobster. They got a lot of momentum coming their way on this map. 4 in a row after the 2-0 start for Very Cool, and now 2 out of the last 3 maps as well going Microwave Lobster's way. Coming off a break point to pick into this is a very, very good mental position to be in for the members of Microwave Lobster, and that does play a factor. If you are not having a good day, if you are not confident in yourself, you are not going to play as well as you usually would. So Very Cool. These members who are in for this map going to need the reset, going to need to be comfortable and confident in the fact that they can win this pick. This was a win by less than 60,000 score for Microwave Lobster in the first round of Grand Finals, and it is absolutely a map that Very Cool can use to turn this match around and force the tiebreaker.
And here we go. Looks like Zootinator is slipping in on this one. Taking the spot of Emmerich when they played this at the start of this game. And here we go then. It is tournament point for Microwave Lobster on their own pick.
Yeah, this is for all the marbles. They win one more map, and Microwave Lobster wins this tournament. Very Cool would be eliminated in second place, and Microwave Lobster would take it all. A massive point for both of these teams. Very Cool needing to win 3 in a row just to force the tiebreaker now. And not off to the best of starts on this one either. Zudi with a very early miss. Taquito with a miss during the first 300 combo as well. This is a map that absolutely comes down to these KI times. You see these big spacing increases during this part of the map. Not for nothing, the hardest part of the pick. Malashevsky and Fancy Lad both finding breaks here. Only matched by Taquito so far. It's Badu and Arnold with the full combos up against White Cat and Fire Rage. Zooty going to find the trade as well to trade the combo with Malashevsky. And this now looks a lot closer between the two of them. Fire Rage going to find the drop, though, near the end of this first KI time. It's Arnold and Badu still holding, and if they both make it through this first KI time, that's going to be a massive combo lead for Microwave Lobster going into some of the slower sections in the middle of this map. And they do manage to both make it through. White Cat, the only combo to speak of for Very Cool. And yes, there's breaks coming through for Malashevsky, but there's just nobody on Very Cool aside from White Cat right now to hold any combo at the moment up against both Badu and Arnold.
A few breaks during that slower section. Kicking in again here, though. Microwave Lobster with all the aces. They do lose an FC. It's 1 FC to 1 now. 200k in advantage.
That's actually both FC's dooms. Badu dropped right after Arnold, and this is now suddenly doable for Very Cool, but it is all on White Cat. Everything rests on his shoulders right now. The entire tournament for Very Cool is on White Cat, but if you're going to rely on one player, it may as well be the person who held #1 for the longest time in OS history. White Cat, the only player with combo on the entire board, is the sole player who can guarantee this point for Very Cool right now, still holding the FC, needs to hold this combo for even longer as the lead's still around 100,000 right now as Microwave Lobster to continue to put up supporting combos. And no, he finds the misses right at the end of that breakdown section, and that probably seals it up. We're going to need to see some chain misses coming out of the members of Microwave Lobster for this to go over. The lead brought to less than 100,000 score by White Cat, and Taquito with the only combo left now as Fiery and Zooty find those resets up against Malashevsky and Fancy Lad with combos of their own. There's only so much that Taquito's 600 combo can do here, and the lead grown once again over that 100,000 score mark. It's looking like GG for Microwave Lobster as they continue to pull ever so slightly ahead. And there goes Taquito's combo. There goes the hopes for Very Cool. And there goes first place to Microwave Lobster.
Again, Badu, he's only popped in for a few maps, but the last ones he's been in for, he's been so huge, so huge. But as a team on this map, getting it done. White Cat with a Herculean performance. It's by far the best score we've seen on this map in this match so far. The Microwave Lobster as a team have pulled through in this bracket reset match. And they have come back, and they are your champions.
And a deserved championship win for Microwave Lobster here in the grand finals. From #1 out of qualifiers to #1 in the tournament. This is the team who, from the very start, was expected to, if not win it all, at least contest for that first place. And they have managed to pull it off here at the end on that No-Mod 3 pick.
On that first match, man, we saw some strong individual carries. Malachevsky playing a blinder. But we were saying, you know, a few of them, it was definitely down to a couple of players pulling them through some of those points. Very Cool, stamping their authority really early on. But something just clicked in this second game, and all of a sudden we started seeing some of those other players have MVP performances. Saw Reed Cat on some of those DT maps step in. Saw Arnold really step up. Badu on those last few maps, as well as Malachevsky doing his bit as a team. Great mental game to get themselves out of maybe the rut they were in just a little bit in the first one and overcome a team like Very Cool, which have been incredible, including in this game. An incredible level of play from everyone involved.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic grand finals from both of these teams. So that is it's tough for Very Cool to see them drop out at this point, but unfortunately not the ending that they would have liked. Still second place in this tournament, a very solid overall performance for Very Cool, and I think a better performance than a lot of people would have expected out of them at the start of this match. We saw quite a lot of people looking to Microwave Lobster as the potential favorites. The fact that Very Cool was able to force that bracket reset in such a dominant fashion in the at the start of this match, definitely something to be proud of for them. And a far closer grand finals, I might add, than a lot of recent 4v4 tournaments. You go back to places like the Corsairs Open last year and the Perennial last year, and the grand finals in both of those tournaments, when teams are allowed to build whatever roster they want, end up often being far more one-sided than what we have seen so far. So props to both of these teams for finding just absolutely incredible rosters for both of these squads and making every single match this weekend relatively close. You'd love to see close matches between teams of this caliber.
Yeah, the way the teams ended up being, it is relatively balanced, very top of the mountain here in, this year's Perennial. The teams have had a great balance between different mods and, certain picks where even, Seed 1, Seed 2, it isn't just one team has all of the tournament players and the Seed 2 has some of them and some high solo players. We've seen a great balanced matchup, both in this one and also in that losers bracket final we saw yesterday. And that's what leads to matches like this. You love to see it. You love to see it.
You really do. Well, with that said, that is going to be the win for Microwave Lobster. They are your champions this year, and a deserved win for them for sure. Absolutely solid overall performance for Microwave Lobster and a deserved win in this match. They've had a really solid overall tournament, and I think they are absolutely happy with the way that things have played out here in this match.
There's our top three. Microwave Lobster are your champions. Very Cool in second place, and in third place, El Duper. Quite a lot of old school names on El Duper as well, and they've been so good in this tournament. In the early game, they were nigh unstoppable. I think they went in the first few games in this tournament without dropping a single point. Incredible early game team, and they get their just desserts at the end of this. Shigetora grabbing a new top three as well. It's a bit of a throwback. You'll love to see him take part once again. And a Koro as well, who's, I'm sure, is going to have a great year of tournaments ahead of him.
Absolutely. One of the standout players for quite a lot of teams as of recent, and who has been really solid for quite a lot of players and quite a lot of teams. Had a really good run in, for example, Corsairs Closed earlier this year, where he actually ended up beating Whitecat on a tiebreaker. So incredibly good player, and no surprises that he and his team find themselves in third place here. Really interesting result in that Microwave Lobster, Very Cool, and Ultupa all originally top three out of qualifiers. Not too often you see that kind of thing happen, as usually the qualifier results end up seeing quite a lot of upsets. And we did see our fair share of upsets, but not to these top three super teams who are all incredibly strong. We're going to go ahead and do two things here at the end of this tournament after now congratulating our victors and our other top three teams. We've got the tiebreaker being played for fun, and then we'll have a post-match interview with Bartek, the captain of Microwave Lobster, alongside this one guy to conduct the interview. So without any further ado, let's get into our tiebreaker for fun here. The Throne custom song by Undead Corporation, and the custom map made by Mazarin for this tournament. Custom map actually made by 4 people. It was Mazarin, Makali, Camo, and Frostwitch who all mapped this for us after we got the initial commission done from Undead Corporation.
This is very much the sort of thing you'd see Mazarin be involved with as well. High speed, very streamy, very mechanically intensive. Doesn't let up for 6 minutes. It's a great tune. It's really cool to see artists like this support Osu in its tournament scene. It's brilliant.
I'm very happy with how the song turned out in particular. I think Undead Corporation was really solid to work with. They ended up making a song that could have worked really, really well for a tiebreaker. I think the mapping ended up being a lot streamier than maybe some of the players would have liked. Fiery Rage in particular, voicing his discontent with how streamy and speed focused the tiebreaker is, as he does.
He's in slot 1 as well.
He is in slot 1 as well, but yeah, definitely a tiebreaker that focuses heavily in on the speed and stamina aspects of gameplay more so than others. But very, very good song from Undead Corporation. I'm really happy to work with them again on a different song, given how accepting they were and how accommodating they were to a lot of our requests for the song. Also want to welcome everybody from Whitecat Stream, by the way. Thank you for the raid there, and congratulations on second place in the tournament. Unfortunate ending to grand finals, but really still overall solid performance from you and your team.
Yeah, very well played. Incredible stuff. Really fun to watch.
Well, with a lot of the players in this lobby not necessarily being the speed players that you usually expect to go in on a tiebreaker like this, I'm really looking at Bubbleman and Arnold for the two players to watch right now on a tiebreaker like this, who are really putting up solid scores at the moment. 150k on Arnold, 97 accuracy, and pretty good combo on Bubbleman as well, going into the 1/3 section now.
Watching some of these accuracies as well. Arnold's speed. Always a joy to watch Arnold go ham on some of these faster maps. Bubbleman as well. I know Bubbleman has been working at his speed recently after taking the breakout. Of course, when you don't play for a while, your speed is usually the first thing to go. He has been working at that though recently though. It's really showing considering he's holding a solid ack in this room. Gotta say, Badu is flexing on this alt section though with Easy.
Badu's easy reading is something to behold, man. I mean, the earlier streamy section's obviously not something that's going to help his overall case on this map, but absolutely still really solid for easy reading on Badu. And of course, one of the players who ended up making the difference for them on that free mod 2 that we saw in Bracket Reset, right, with that easy multiplier going pretty well in his favor. Reedcat now with a really solid score of his own, actually, coming up on that 150k mark and flexing some combo during these speedier sections as well.
Reedcat speed, it's becoming a real thing. Honestly impressed with how he's dealt with slipping in for some of the speedier picks this game, considering it's not really his forte.
I do want to say, though, these plays right now really put into perspective for me just how good the replay we got for the tiebreaker from Leva Russian is. He got 440k on this map, which, looking right now at players like Bubbleman and Arnold struggle with this pick, is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, these are quite literally the two top teams in the tournament, so that is a ridiculous score. Bubbleman's still putting up a really solid combo into the ending here and likely to get far above that 300k mark on this map, which is looking like a pretty good score right now as he continues to hold some of the combo during the aim control section here.
He's going in. He's even hit the smoke key. He's going in. There's the break, but yeah. So when you get into like these sorts of really high star rating multi-skill maps, yeah, getting above 500k is pretty Herculean. I wonder how many attempts it took Level Russian to do that, because that is pretty good.
But you, Fire, having a conversation with you off the corner there. Asking how his fingers are enjoying the tiebreaker right now.
Yeah, at least with the spacing, Badu could probably double tap some of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why he took the easy, right? Being able to double tap some of it.
Oh yeah. It's all about the ergonomics of easy.
There's absolutely a mash meta in easy too, so you know, not for nothing he's able to do it. Oh,
GG.
that is GG. It is Microwaved Lobster actually once again taking the point there, getting 600,000 combined score, top score in the lobby for both Arnold and Bubbleman within 100 score of each other. Actually, that'd be an interesting map to see them 1v1 on. They got within 100 score of them. Really, really crazy scores. Very, very close scores for both of them. But once again, gonna be the win here for Microwaved Lobster and a team who absolutely deserve the win that they found here at the end of the tournament. Now, congratulations to them. Just gonna be waiting on Bartek to come in here, and we'll get our post-match interview in. Before Bartek does come in, I'll go ahead and throw some thanks out to all of the staff who made this tournament possible, especially the map pool team in my primary map pools, OMG4s, Mazarin, Not, Psycha, Wed, and I believe that's everybody. Covered them all. So all of our map poolers who put in a lot of hours making sure these pools were as good as they could reasonably be. Alongside the whole referee team who missed no matches during this tournament, made sure everything ran super smoothly. All the graphics from Chili Repair, who designed quite literally everything that you see on screen right now, and who has been a rock for this tournament all throughout. Alongside, of course, the streaming and casting team, a lot of people who came in to stream when I couldn't and came in to cast when I couldn't, to make sure that everything got as much broadcast time as possible through this tournament. So very much appreciated to all of our other staff. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to send it over to this one guy and to Bartek for a post-match interview.
Hello!
All right, thank you, Dio. This one guy here, joined by Bartek, captain of the winning team, Microwave Lobster. Bartek, congratulations. You improve on the second place from last year alongside Badu Fancy Lad. You defend the championship with intercamming Arnold and Reedcat. How does it feel to accomplish that?
And thank you for that. I think all thanks should be going to my team because they did insane. Actually, they did fucking insane, man. I cannot even say how much I love them, dude. We tried so hard to win this match. We actually did. We felt really poor after the first. I mean, I felt like a bit weak after the first match because, you don't just lose 7-3 by a small margin. I mean, all of the maps were kind of close, but I still had the feeling that something feels off. And yeah, we improved our mentals for the second match and we got what we wanted.
Yeah, we talked last week when we spoke after the winners final about how important it was going to be to have that winner's side advantage in the grand final. And I think that ended up playing out pretty much as we discussed. So talk to me about a little bit what went through your guys' mind, what was discussed kind of in between that first and second set when you said, okay, we got to really pick it up here after losing the first set and try to close this out.
We just took a 5-minute break and no one talked, actually. There was just a dead quiet in the voice chat. No one just talked anything. Everyone just okay, we gotta chill for a second and just do nothing.
And then in that same regard, so we saw
a kind of similar outcome in both sets. The first set, very cool, won 4 maps in a row to win the set. The second set, they went out to the 2-1 or 2-0 lead, excuse me, and then you guys only lost 1 map the rest of the way. What do you think was the biggest change for you guys? What was the biggest adjustment you made going into that second set to make it, to completely just turn around the match?
I think it actually wasn't from our side, because I think we're just like, yeah, like I kept telling my team that the first match we shouldn't care about the first match, because even when we were losing hardly, we knew that the team from losers bracket gets the advantage for first game, just because win doesn't give them anything. They can literally do insane scores, and they still wouldn't have won the match overall if they won the first match. So they had all the shakes, the most stress from the team came actually to the second match, and this actually showed up. I think I wouldn't say underperformed, but I think they did much better on the first set than on the second set. And I think just the coming from the losers bracket side effects affected them on the second match.
Yeah, and I think that was something that I was discussing with some folks during this match as well. You know, these tournaments, you get to the grand finals. If you're coming from the losers bracket, you have to be able to win 2 best of 13s in a row. And these are long matches. I mean, that was 2.5 hours maybe. What's for you and your team, what was the mental and maybe physical fatigue like playing a match that long with that much on the line?
I mean, we are all used to it. We are all tournament players, so we have... I mean, dude, this is the case scenario. Me, Badu, Fancy are literally... I think we are facing American Whitecat for the 4th time, for the 4th, bigger team tournament in a row. We are just facing every single grand finals. We know how this feels, how to play long matches. It's just yeah, we are already all set up for the long matches, so we know how to deal with them.
Well, that makes sense. It feels like there is this kind of group of players, I guess you could say, at the top of the tournament scene, who are always on these top few teams, and your team and Very Cool both had a number of those players. I think it felt to me like there was a big standout, and that was Ristel. What do you think about your team's performance, and especially especially in that second set where he set some absolutely ridiculous scores?
Dude, I just want anyone to tell me what PP score Ristel got on 3mod3, because that's an A-star FC. That has to be a 700 at least. That probably is the highest PP score made in the tournament so far. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Ristel went insane this match. My whole team went actually insane. We all did really good. I'm really happy from their performances. I of course trolled as last week as well, but I'm just I think I'm just not at the top level anymore. I'm just I'm missing 5 years maybe. If I was 5 years old, younger, then maybe I would have been better. But yeah.
Partek thinking he's washed up despite winning one of the biggest tournaments of the year.
I bottom scored in my team. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Well, I think the legacy is definitely intact, and I think it just adds to the mystique of some of the players on your team. Yourself, Fancy Lad, Badu, you guys are all people who have been around the scene and have been just doing amazing things year after year. What does it take? And I'll try to go out a little bit after this, but what does it take to remain at this top level for you and the members of your teams for so long?
Honestly, from my experience, I feel like a praxis. I feel like I'm slowly getting down after those 4 years of being the top. It's dude, I've spent so much time into this game, into the tournaments. It's what am I gonna do without this? What am I gonna do actually? I mean, I have uni, but I actually don't care, dude. I had 2 uni tests this week, and I cheated on both of them. I did not learn anything. I just cannot care about anything else except grand finals, dude.
We here at the Perennial do not condone cheating on academic tests. I just want to make that very clear. But it obviously paid off in the end. Well, before we send you on your way, just any last second thoughts or shout outs to your team, your supporters, anybody else, anything else you'd like to say as we reach the conclusion of this amazing victory in this great tournament?
I'm not so sure about this, but I think you can make Dio poor by donating $300, so he has to donate $300 to the prize pool. Just saying. That's my last thought.
All right, well, you heard it from the man. Congratulations again to Bartek and to Microwave Lobster on the win here in Perennial 2022. Amazing job to you and your team. Thank you for your time. We appreciate having you here once again.
Thanks for being here.
You are welcome, and we are going to send it back over to Dio to close out the tournament for the year.
Thank you very much to this one guy at Bartek for that. Congratulations again to Microwave Lobster, very cool, and El Dupa for securing first, second, and third here in the Perennial 2022. That is all we have for the tournament this year. It is over. Microwave Lobster are your champions, and they will be taking victory here today against Very Cool 7-3 in the bracket reset. Congratulations to them, and we'll see you all next year.